Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
The Texas Rangers win the World Series.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off session.
This is a cool night or what?
Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Well. What have we here? Why, it looks like a YDC remote podcast about to break out. If that's what it looks like to you, then you have made the correct guess, because that's exactly what it is, and it is about to happen. Hello to one and all. We are live today in crazy Fort Worth at Bronx Tack Room. Now, this is located at 115 West Exchange Avenue. You know, over here in crazy Fort Worth, when you start getting down into Exchange Avenue and all that, that tells you are in one place and one place only, and that is in the stockyards. And that is where we are today. Now, we are inside here at Bronx Tack Room. This is a relatively new place down here. And they would love it if you would come in here and check it out. We would love it if you would come in here and check it and us out, because we're going to be rolling for the next few hours with many various luminaries from our podcast realm. And hell, who knows what might happen? Who knows who might walk in? Who knows who we might see that we just have to get up here and talk to them a little bit. Now, right now, let me introduce these distinguished fellows that we have up here. On my right, your left as we look at it, these are the guys on the Signal 51 Chronicles. Water Media. Go to stolenwatermedia.com. You will find their podcast. You will find ours. You will find every other podcast we have here at Stolen Water, all there on one place. These guys do true crime. On my immediate right here, this is John Henry. On his immediate right, that's Jake White. Did I get all that right? You did. All right, we need to get a microphone turned up here. Yeah, just like that.
Is that better?
Say something, Jake.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right, great.
That's better. We can hear you. All right,
we have important things to say. So
yeah,
that's good.
That's right.
You can hear us.
But wait, there's more. There's so much more. Because on my immediate left, we have a guy that you've heard on YDC a time or two. You hear him in the music realm in this part of the world. He has been around for a long time. He has provided greatness for a long time, because that is routinely what he's about. That's routinely what he does. He is the great Steve Helms with us once again.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for doing this, man.
I'm just kind of curious why I'm with these guys. Is something going to happen to me and nobody's told me yet?
Could be.
This
could
is
be.
weird.
Hey, look, I'm a little bit leery of him, too.
Is that buzzard you see flying around out there? Don't worry about it. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know any better.
You know, it's an odd foursome we have here, though.
No,
Me from the podcast realm, him from music, these guys from true crime.
I mean, it all kind of comes together.
I guess it does in some obtuse way or another. Maybe before the day is over, we'll have that all figured out.
People pay me to sing, and that is a crime, I promise.
Well, then they've been committing crimes for many years, because you've been doing it for a hot minute or two.
Yes, sir.
And making your way through this world at it. So
yes,
I'd
sir.
say you've won the game.
Let's don't end it yet, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not pronouncing it over or anything. So are you gigging much these days, or?
Yes, sir. The phone's still ringing. We're playing, and call me. I'll come sing at your house. I'll come to your goat dipping, whatever it is. If you'll pay me to sing, I'll come do it.
Now, you have a regular band that you use?
Yes, sir. I mean, everything's different. They want you acoustic solo or just a duo or a 6-piece band. Yeah, we've got whatever somebody needs.
Do you keep these guys on retainer where if you call, they go?
Lord, no. God. No,
Yeah.
Most of them have been doing this so long their phones ring all the time anyway.
Yeah.
You know, just, hey, have you got this date open? Yeah or no. You know, if they don't, then you call your other buddy that you've been playing with for
So
30
you kind of
years.
have a pool that you draw
sir.
from?
100%.
With about 5 or 6 guys that play each thing? And
100%. And we've all been doing this together for 40 years.
that's probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
So what do you got coming up here?
Tomorrow I'll be in Fort Worth, Texas. Saturday I'm going to LaGrange, and it's a crawfish boil in LaGrange, so I'm looking forward to that.
Not
Probably the
the-
last one of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And,
right.
yeah, we're going all the time.
Cool. Now, as for you guys,
Yeah.
how's the podcast realm suiting you?
Enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, quite well. We're loving it.
Had you done something like this prior to linking up with us?
We
here?
did. Yeah, we started, I don't know, early 22 maybe, somewhere
Yeah,
in that
sounds
time frame.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Time runs together.
you're old hands at this.
Well,
Well, I don't know about that.
we're
I do. If you've been able to keep it, going for that long, that's pretty good.
Well,
man.
we had a small hiatus.
We had a hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a little break.
Yeah.
And then got back together again,
Brought
Yeah.
the band back together.
Yeah.
as it always goes.
Yes.
There's plenty of content. We're never short of any content. So we got stories to tell.
All right, so take us through that. Take us through how you find these stories and what you do with them once you get them.
Well, we're lucky to have a retired sergeant on the 4th Police Department right here, and so yeah, we thank you for your service, Jake.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's had a tough career at times, I tell you. Yeah.
A fun career. Man. Come on.
But no, so we have his experience. I am a history nut, so I'm on the newspaper archives in Dallas and Fort Worth all the time. So I'm finding stuff all the time. So we've got a full well of stuff.
Yeah. So he comes from police.
Yeah.
What did you do before this, or what?
I'm
do
a
you,
journal.
what
I'm
do
a
you do now?
journalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I worked in sports for the Star Telegram once the local authority on news. I don't know about that anymore. Mm-hmm. And now I work for I'm the editor of Fort Worth Inc. magazine, the business lifestyle magazine, which we have 2 titles there. The other is Fort Worth Magazine, and I work on both. So I've been doing that for 30 years. So storytelling is kind of
your bag, huh?
only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
They're putting a facade on up here. That's not my thing. You don't want me with a hammer.
No, me neither. Me neither. I do this.
Or with a guitar. No one wants to see that either.
I would like to see you try both. That'd be
Now
interesting.
I have in recent months been an old hand at karaoke, and nobody wants that either.
What's your big karaoke song?
Whichever one I can stumble over with 6 vodkas on my liver. That's the one I try.
So it sounds like you do a lot of Steve Helms tunes. I do the same thing. It's crazy.
You've got a little stand-up comedy in you as well.
Yeah, I've done some
You've got one
impromptu
joke.
stand-up.
One joke.
Yeah, and we're not telling it.
But come on.
Come on.
No,
Yes, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good one. It's funny.
All right, come on. You got
gotta
to
do it.
now.
Why'd the feminists cross the road?
No.
I don't know. Why did the feminists cross the road?
Guy looking in the tree, John. You know what I'm talking about here.
I want to know the answer to that one first.
The guy wakes up one morning to pour himself a cup of coffee, and as he's fixing it up, he looks out and sees a gorilla in his tree.
Okay.
And he's like, damn, I got a gorilla in my tree. So this tells you how old his joke is. He goes to his Yellow Pages and starts flipping through it, look for gorilla removal service.
Right.
Finds it, gets on the line. The guy says, I don't have anything going on today, so yeah, I can come out there in about 15 minutes. So he shows up, and the homeowner comes out there and meets him out. Guy says, where's that? What do you got? He takes me back there, looks around. He goes, there it is. He goes, yep, you got a gorilla in your tree. Goes back out of the back of his truck. He pulls a baseball bat, handcuff, and a shotgun. All up, takes it to the backyard, and he lays it down. He tells the homeowner, okay, this is what I'm going to do. He says, I'm going to climb up in that tree with this baseball bat, and I'm going to knock that gorilla out of the tree. When he falls to the tree, when he falls to the ground, this Chihuahua is specially trained to clamp down on his testicles. And when he does that, that gorilla is going to get in a defensive posture like this, and I need you to slap those cuffs on him. The guy says, okay. He goes, what's the deal with this shotgun? And the guy says, well, if I go up in that tree and something doesn't go exactly right and that gorilla knocks me out of the tree, I need you to shoot that dog.
I told you. That was a good one, John Henry.
Yes.
Wow. John Henry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Wow. I got to retrench for a second here. Is that what he turns out pretty regularly, Jake?
That is a common occurrence.
It's a regular.
When he's got six vodkas on his liver, I suppose. Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like it.
All right, so where do you guys go for your stuff these days? The true crime aspect of what you do.
We typically try to stay within our vicinity, our locale of Dallas. One of the biggest metros in town. There's a lot of crime, and there's plenty of documentation on it. And we're, like I said, we're lucky because we have Jake, and we kind of borrow his expertise as an analysis, as an analyst, and then for stuff.
This is a good example of where we go. So he was a lieutenant. He runs the homicide unit in the late 60s and 70s here at 4th Police. And he retires, and right after he retires, he was well liked by the Star Telegram, places like that. And he says there's 3 cases that bother me. So we dug into all 3 of those cases. The one we're going to talk about today.
Detective for had the great public pensions like they got now.
No.
And those guys had to work for 40 years to you work and you died. This is one of those cases.
As long as you could work, you did work back then.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
All right, we got to give Bronx Tack Room a little bit of a new place. It is located on Exchange in the Stockyards. I don't know, kind of rustic, kind of very Fort Worth, very Stockyards. It's a nice fit down here. It's a new place, and you need to come in here and check it out. Now, we got a few other people who are supposed to drive by a little bit later on, most notably among them that I'm really interested in talking to. And I know I'm going to lose a lot of people here. But if a certain era, most definitely remember the name of Dwayne Thomas. To come really controversial. And I don't know if his story ever really got out there, but his daughter Zalika is supposed to be in here today. And we're going to be talking with her for a little bit about what she remembers about her dad and how he was with her, which is probably way different from the way everybody thought of him. The thing about Dwayne is, once he got here and started playing, he was really, really good right off the bat. And as the season went on, the Cowboys started having a lot of injuries. They had trouble throwing the football. But the one thing they could count on was him in the running game. And Dwayne didn't like dealing with the media or anything like that, and he just reached a point where he wouldn't talk to anybody. And when I say anybody, anybody, any media, coaches, teammates, whatever, he just shut everybody out. And people didn't know how to react to that back then. I don't even know if they would today if somebody tried to do that, but he stayed with it, and he came and went from here without ever explaining himself or talking to the media or anything else. So, I mean, we knew nothing about him when he got here. We saw what he did on the field. We saw how great he was, and he was really, really good. I mean, like I say, at that time, he pretty much carried the Cowboy offense. He was really, really good, and then he came and went by the great Dwayne Thomas. What? All right, now it's story time with the boys from the Signal 51 Chronicles. Here's Jake, here's John.
So this story, as Jake alluded to, was one of Oliver Ball's stories from the early 70s. And it involves a guy named J. Harry Wynn. And you guys might, I know, Mike, we were talking earlier, you know the Wynns from Six Flags.
Yeah.
Angus Wynn Jr. was
yes.
the one who built Six Flags
yes.
in the early 1960s. And did you also know that the Wynns, as a little known fact, introduced Tex-Mex to Texas with El Chico?
I probably did, but I hadn't thought of that in a long time. So
yeah,
for the story, we'll say no, I did not.
It's really inconsequential, but it's a little known fact, as Cliff Clavin would say. But so J. Harry Wynn was part of that family. They were distant cousins. But J. Harry Wynn grew up in Fort Worth, and he eventually became the president of the Life Insurance Company of Virginia. He was also kind of a Renaissance guy. He was a great photographer, and photography is something that leads into this story. Mm-hmm. Star-Telegram ran a bunch of his pictures over the years, and one of his pictures that garnered so much attention was of the trash in Fort Worth, and specifically trash garbage pickup. And he became the face of garbage pickup reform in Fort Worth, Texas. Very, very much a hot potato issue. There was the city council races, I think it was 1970. This was one of the main issues, was what we're going to do with garbage pickup. And his picture showed, at the time, most residents were just using trash, the silver aluminum trash cans.
Yeah.
Those things get knocked over, the critters get in them. Mm-hmm. The sanitation workers don't give a damn. They're just pouring it in there, and if something falls out, it falls out. So he eventually was pushing for using just standard trash bags that you buy at the fire department, which eventually did become the protocol in Fort Worth. People were pissed off about it because they thought it was going to be more money, blah, blah, blah. Well, 2 months after this, they enact this new trash procedures. J. Harry Wynn, the garbage crusader, goes missing.
Indeed. So we're going to go, 5-6 miles due south of here, off of Maine. So Wynn lives 2-story house at 1108 Washington Avenue. So to put it in perspective on the map, it's near the intersection of South Henderson and West Rosedale. So a pretty busy area. Right now there's a new fancy apartment complex down there. So his son, Robert, Wynn's 89 years old. He was set to turn 90 in just a mere few weeks after his disappearance. So his son, Robert, would go by the house and check on him daily. And on September 16th at about 12:15, he makes his normal run to Dad's house. Hey, is everything okay? So he goes upstairs, and when he goes upstairs, they have back then, this is pre-AC, pre-modern day HVAC in a house, if you will. They had a sleeping porch. So breeze coming in and out. You can still see them in those houses over there today. A lot of them have been converted, so to speak.
Yeah.
So he goes upstairs and sees Dad laying in bed, bludgeoned to death. His dad had been struck multiple times with a hammer that they found laying on the floor next to Dad.
See, isn't this fun, these stories we tell?
Yeah. They're so bright and airy. I mean,
They're very popular.
They are.
They are popular, I'll give you that. So Dad, obviously, or son obviously immediately calls the police. The police show up. When they get there, they quickly notice one thing. They're already starting to think, hey, what's some motives, what's some reasons why this may have happened? So they see the back door and assume that the assailant had come into the house via the back door because the screen had been cut. One of the other patrol officers that was on scene stated that when they went in the house, the only thing that was kind of out of the ordinary was a dresser drawer had been opened. Now, they don't know Harry Wynn. They don't know what's normal for him to have in his house, what's abnormal for him to have in his house, but it wasn't the signs of a telltale burglary where things are strewn and missing. The way his body was found and some of the injuries, it was consistent with one of him making some defensive postures, throwing up his hands basically, probably to block blows. Mm-hmm. So they finished their investigation at the scene. Things are a lot different back then, right? This is not CSI Miami or whatever it is where you've got, DNA and things like that. So they start interviewing witnesses, i.e. in this case, neighbors. One of the neighbors says, hey, we heard his car leave at 3 o'clock in the morning. We thought maybe it was some kind of medical emergency, something of the sorts, because there was some kind of collision. The next day, now here's why we're doing this story right here. So the next day, about 24 hours later, Wynn's car, a green 1966 Cadillac, is discovered right outside of that window, maybe 20 feet down the sidewalk, parked on the curb line. And in his car, they find a car key and a torn up piece of paper. That's all they find.
It's also handy to remember that the stockyards in the early 70s was a barren place. All the industry from the packing plants had left. There was nothing down here except the dregs. Essentially, it wasn't until Billy Bob's showed up in 1980, 81 that some life started returning here.
Yeah, look at it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was no Bronx Tack Room.
There was no Bronx Tack Room.
Back then, nothing of the sorts. So they recover his car. Like I said, they found the car key that had a partial fingerprint. Again, procedures are different. A torn up piece of paper. So on the surface, it wouldn't seem like much, but family, going back to Wynn's crusade, is trash. They said he was meticulous. There's no way he would have left a torn up piece of paper in his car. They collect evidence. They hope, hey, maybe more witnesses will come forward. Maybe more information will come forward. Something will find a break in this case. Year goes by, no break in the case. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. To this day, this case has still not been solved. So one of the things that we found interesting was they could never pin down a motive. We did talk to his grandson or great-grandson, I don't remember
grandson.
which. Yeah, grandson several years ago about this. And he said in the house, Wynn was known to keep bars of gold, silver, and he had expensive photography equipment. The other thing of interest, at the same time that this case had happened, there was a lady named Emma Davis. She was an elderly female. She was also found bludgeoned to death in her home off of Randall Mill.
East Side.
East Fort Worth. And another guy named Charles Patterson, he had a downtown office at the Sinclair building. And one day, cleaning crew comes in early in the morning, same thing. They find him bludgeoned to death in the house. So, you know, when you look back at Fort Worth in that time, not just this case, but other cases, this whole serial concept where there were multiple victims, where these things were never solved, were pretty prevalent. Now with Wynn, you know, John talked about this trash reform. The city hated it. They were going to lose somewhere to the tune of $1.8 million over a 2-year period, and we're talking 1971.
A lot of money back then.
Yep. Citizens, for some reason, there was a big faction of residents that opposes this plan.
Yeah.
So.
And they were concerned about the cost as well.
Yep. So with that being said, like, you know, it's one of the ones where motive unknown. You know, we do now live in a time where, you know, you have technology. Pretty rare that would happen today, where there's just a complete, absolute mystery, right? I mean, with the technology now, you have your license plate cameras. You've got the city's got cameras everywhere, witnesses, cell phones, etc.
Whoever drove his car off,
would have
seen it.
Yeah.
You'd have had it on camera.
Right.
Yep. So to this day, the murder of J. Harry Wynn is still a great unknown. Perhaps will probably always be that way. You know, they have solved a couple in the last few. The Carla Walker case, I was around the same time. They recently solved that. So I don't know if we'll ever see that outcome, but.
And what year was this again?
71.
71.
Yep.
And we also had that case recently with the UTA criminal justice class that solved that they thought they had solved a murder from 1984, 40 years ago.
Right.
It turns out that they didn't. The DA, whatever evidence they claimed to have, the DA said, no, that's not going to fly. But
yeah, there was something to do. I think that had something to do with a witness statement. I can't remember what it was. Something of the sort to where that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So
the case of J. Harry Wynn sits amongst the boxes of the cold cases in the Fort Worth Police Department, Homicide Department.
Yep.
And that was one that Oliver Ball, who had, you know, worked on dozens and dozens of cases over 30 years, 40 years, whatever the case might be, said was one that troubled him till his dying day.
How many cold cases do you think they have?
You know,
probably varies, you know, from one time to another time, but.
Well, you know, I don't know how good the records are of it, and I don't say that in a disparaging way. I know that a lot that we've done that are not solved, they're still not listed on the website. I think if on the website from 70 to 80, there's maybe 20 or 30 of them. But, you know, now their clearance rate now today is 90%. Now, that's incredibly high across the nation.
Yeah.
So the detectives in Fort Worth do one hell of a job at this. It's just rare now that they don't solve it, right? I mean, all the technology and everything, which, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a lot more to work with, and they probably have better training, and these guys are probably just a whole lot better at what they do than those guys back then were. No knock on those guys. They were doing the best they could, but
well, there's a camera everywhere now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
DNA, all the forensic capabilities. And I think the guys are more innate today because, you know, they grew up watching CSI. You know, Oliver Ball wasn't able to do that.
CSI is not a bad thing.
No.
It has its place in this world.
Oh, sorry.
It
It
does
does
indeed.
indeed. I am good. I'm good.
6 vodkas?
No. Not today.
We'll have another one. Let's talk to Steve Helms here for a little bit. Can we do that?
Yes, sir. I just want to reiterate that I was 5 in 71. I had nothing to do with that.
Okay, we got you off the list. You're good.
Thank you.
No, in 71, I was 20, so I was a very likely candidate. I was a very likely suspect. It could very well have been me, except I was too meek and too mild at that time to do anything like that.
And how often did you find yourself over here in Fort Worth back then?
Not often.
Yeah.
Not often. My time of coming to Crazy Fort Worth was a little down the line there.
Yeah.
When I started playing in bands and stuff, when we came over here and played at I Gotcha and places like that.
He's a musician, so I promise you he never had a hammer in his hand.
Yeah, that's right. We don't do that.
We don't do that.
So, tell me what got you going into country music. Were you ever a rock and roller?
I mean, yeah, we were all, I grew up in the 80s, so yeah, hair bands and all that stuff. I was a Kiss freak growing up, too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Van Halen? Had to be a Van Halen.
This last year, my musical circle came to a complete hole in the Kennedy Center Honors. It was Kiss and George Strait.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like,
Man.
yes, yes, you know. There's a picture going around of George Strait and Gene Simmons together, and I want that to be hung somewhere in my house. Yeah.
Boy, your whole world just came together like this.
It did.
Didn't
I promise it did. It was, yeah. If my mother was still alive, she would have just went, "Oh yeah, there you go, buddy."
This is it.
Yeah.
This is your golden moment.
That was it. But no, growing up, my dad had a record deal. Leon Helms from Cleveland, Texas. He had a band, so I grew up in it. There was the Helmses and the Burgesses. We talked about Sonny Burgess earlier. Mm-hmm. When Sonny was 18, he played guitar for my dad. And then when Sonny got old enough to go, you know what? I think I want to pursue a record deal. I was old enough then to play in his band, so we just kind of followed each other, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, we all just grew up in the music.
So were you always a country oriented toward country?
Yes, sir, because that's what I grew up listening to. I mean, that's what I grew up around.
Yeah.
My dad was always singing a Merle Haggard tune or George Jones, so yeah, I grew up playing that. Then you know, when I got old enough to had my guitar, then yeah, I was listening to Eddie Van Halen and Gene Simmons and all these other, you know, Led Zeppelin, all these other dudes too. Steely Dan, you know, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I played all of it.
So when it comes to country music, who are your guys?
There's a bunch of them, but the number one guy is probably Merle Haggard. Yeah. Oh yeah. Merle was the guy.
Yeah.
And he was the guy for my dad as well. You know, he was the guy.
Can I tell you my country music story?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, I was a rock and roller, and one night in the 80s on New Year's Eve, I got a call from a guy who needed a drummer. I played drums back then. And he needed a drummer. He had a gig and he needed a drummer. And I said, well, where is it? He said, it's a VFW or something like that. And I thought, oh, hell, why not? You know? But I told him, look, I don't know any country songs. He said, well, just come on here and sit back there and make some noise.
Bang on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep a beat.
So, okay, I did that. And I went out there, and he was playing bass, and he was not terribly good, but he had a guitar player that was just outrageous. And even with my minimal knowledge of country music and my minimal interest in it and my minimal ability to differentiate good from bad, I knew that guy was really, really good.
Right.
And he had a woman singer who was not terribly attractive, but she sounded just like Patsy Cline.
Back in the good old days.
Yeah.
All the guys were old and the women were ugly. It was great music. Yeah.
Well, you know what they say about Gilligan's Island, right? You know, the older you get, you realize there's actually 3 lookers on that show.
Yeah, that's true. But I started playing with them, and the more I did, the more I found, you know, it's okay. I mean, it's a certain thing. They want a certain kind of thing from you, so let's start listening to a little bit of this stuff.
Right.
And I started listening to shuffles.
Mm-hmm.
And I was brought back to a time where I used to go see guys play at the Cellar.
Yep.
Back in the day. I don't know if you remember that place.
I've heard of it.
They had guys who played just wicked. I'm being
You got a
tormented here.
fly that's killing you over
Oh,
here.
boy, I'm just being tormented. man, I'd so love to be a hero and just grab him out of the air. But I used to learn how to play, or I learned how to play 4/4 shuffles like the guys over here in Fort Worth did it.
Yes.
And the way they did it was with a busy left hand.
Yes.
Now, I'm a right-hander, so that was completely 100% counterintuitive to everything I did.
Right.
But I would practice it. I stayed after it. And before long, I started getting calls from guys. And one guy called me. The third time he called me, I went out and played with him. And he just said to me, you know why I called you, don't you? I said, no. He said, because you got a great shuffle. I thought, okay, all right, I'm learning something here.
Yeah.
But, after that, I would play it every now and then, play rock and roll, play this, play that. But playing the 4/4 shuffle that's something you got to learn if you're
Did any, famous call you? Do some really cool stuff in the country?
Nobody famous or anything.
Right.
Just local guys around here. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't big time like you are.
That's
big
right.
time.
Steve, did you ever play, or did your dad ever play at Panther? Was it Panther Hall?
Panther Hall, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being, and it's crazy, but I remember being little, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And sitting in front of the black and white TV and watching my dad on the Panther Hall.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody came through there.
There was Panther Hall. Oh my gosh, I just went blank. Cowboy Weaver show.
Yeah.
And there was another one too.
Johnny High.
That was later.
Okay.
That was later.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was Cowboy Weaver, Panther Hall, and the Dewey Groom show.
Okay.
Dewey Groom. They were like DFW guys.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was from the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas.
Yeah.
And I played a thing at the ballroom last year, and it was so cool because that's the first time I'd ever been in that building. After all the stuff I've done in my life, the first time I've been in there, and then it dawned on me, holy shit, my dad's played here 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And I got to just looking around and seeing all these old pictures, and it's like, holy crap, he was part of that. You know, and that was really cool.
Great
to me.
history.
Yeah, it was cool to me. But those shows, I do remember seeing my dad. My dad released a 45, and one of the sides was called "You Caused Me to Love You," which I recorded a couple of times too. And the other side was Louisiana Saturday Night.
Yeah. And
it's different than the one you're thinking that was a big hit. My dad had a song out called that, but I remember watching him on one of those shows promoting that Louisiana Saturday Night. Yeah. And it was so cool because it was all pantomimed back then. He didn't have a guitar in his hand, so he was just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. You could just tell he was just awkward. It was like, but watching him on TV was pretty cool.
So I was introduced recently to a fellow by the name of Jerry Max.
Jerry Max Lane.
Jerry Max Lane.
Jerry Max Lane. My dad did shows with him. He wrote some big old hits for George Strait and other people. Yeah. He was a big deal. He was a Dallas Fort Worth guy, but he was a big deal.
I just recently wrote a story on Billy Bob Barnett.
Yeah.
Founder of Billy Bob's.
Yeah.
1981.
That's right. And I asked him, I said, was this place always going to be called Billy Bob's? And he goes, no. In fact, it was going to be called Jerry Max's.
Yeah.
Jerry Max's Texas.
Yeah.
What was it going to be called?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're kidding me. He goes, no.
Yeah.
And he said, well, we both knew Darrell Royal. We were both friends with Darrell Royal, the Texas football coach. And we came down to stockyards, and Jerry Max brought all these damn lawyers. Lawyers here, lawyers there, lawyers everywhere. And it irritated Billy Bob and his crew. Like,
he wanted to shake hands.
Shake hands and go. That's the way he did
Jerry
business.
Max was in the music business. He brought a lawyer.
Exactly.
Yeah, he knew better.
And Darrell Royal said, well, Darrell Royal was here too. He says, if you just called this place Billy Bob's Texas, you wouldn't have to worry about all these damn lawyers. And that's how it became Billy Bob's Texas.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's insane.
It's the way.
Jerry Max Lane.
Yeah.
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 Who are your big songwriting influences?
Oh, that's a good question there. Don Schlitz.
Finally, I hit on one.
Don Schlitz was always one of them, and he just recently passed away. And I've watched a lot of videos of like Vince Gill and some of these other guys doing tribute to him. And, oh, my God, like stack of hits this tall. One of those guys.
What would I know from him?
Oh, thousands, but you're putting me on the spot right now. But yeah, Don Schlitz, Google him.
Okay.
Yeah, like stupid list. And Dean Dillon wrote all of George Strait's stuff. Wrote Miami, Miami. Empty Glass, Tennessee Whiskey. He's another one. Dean Dillon. Yeah, and I've recorded a Dean Dillon. He's got a song called the Umbrella Song, and I recorded that with Tommy Alverson. I got to do that before Tommy passed away.
Yeah. How do songs make their way around like you talk about this guy or the song that this guy wrote, and you recorded it? How'd you find if it's not out there like recorded? How'd you find it?
But it was recorded.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, Dean had a single out of it. It was on one of his albums. Because Dean tried to get a record deal back in the day too. He wrote so many George Strait hits. They're like, holy crap, dude, we got all these songs you wrote. Let's cut something on you. It didn't fly, so he went back and just kept writing for other people. But it was on a CD that I heard, and it's like, holy crap, I love this song, and I always played it. So whenever I started recording music and putting albums out, then I wanted to cut that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you hear a song like that, do you just know right away?
Yeah. It just, you try to turn it into yours. And that song, I felt like I did. I've sang it so many years that it felt like mine, Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, do you know that right away that a song is just right for you?
100%. Yeah. And not every singer can sing every song. That's impossible. You can't do it. You're great, but that song doesn't fit you, or this, you know what I mean? But when you have one that does, you know right away, holy crap, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever sang a song or recorded a song that you really wanted to get right, but you finally realized that it's just not for me?
Yeah.
It's not in the cards?
Yeah. In fact, when you go in to cut an album, normally the deal is you cut 15 or 20, and you take 12.
Yeah.
And there's several of those that, golly, you cut it 2 or 3 different ways and different times. It's like, you know what? Okay, let's give that one up. Let somebody else cut it or whatever. But yeah, there's a couple that I've cut, and it was like, nah, I'm not keeping that.
Do you lean on anybody else to tell you this stuff, or are you pretty much self-produced?
Oh, no,
I guess I'm talking about the role of producer here.
Yeah, I've kind of co-produced all of my stuff or been in the room. The only one that I really didn't was I put out a record called Can I Buy You a Country Song? And there's a whole story there. My dad.
We got time.
Okay, all right. Benny MacArthur, who's played guitar for George Strait for 45 years. When Benny was 18, he played guitar for my dad. So Benny and I got together in Las Vegas, had some whiskeys and talked, and he said, "What are you doing now?" And I'm cutting records in Texas. And he goes, "Well, son of a gun, I'm producing." I said, "So what are you saying, Benny? You want to do a record together?" And he goes, "Let's do one for your dad's, just a tribute to your dad." So we cut a record together. And Benny got all of George Strait's band to play on it. And so they played on everything. And so I have guys like Benny. There's a small circle that I can call and go, "Hey, what do you think about this or that?" Or,
yeah.
I've got buddies here in Fort Worth that we've been doing this forever, and I trust their opinion. "Hey, what do you think about this?" "Well, that's trash, dude. Throw that away."
Yeah.
Or, "No, that's great."
Who are your guys here in Fort Worth?
I've got Randy Brown is a good buddy of mine. Aaron Copeland is another one that he and I've written several together, and I can call Aaron, and he can be brutally honest with me, and I'm the same way with him. And there's another cat here in the stockyards that's been around forever like me, Steve Stewart. He's the same way. He goes, "Yeah, that's awesome," or, "No, dude, that sucks. Do this, do that," or, "Take this out,"
Yeah.
But I have a great circle of friends that, we're all butt heads, but we're honest with each other, and that's what it takes. You can't have easy feelings in this business.
You can't be leaning on guys who just tell you what they think you're going to want to hear.
Yeah, no, and I don't want that. I want somebody to be brutally honest with me, and sometimes it hurts. You go spend $20,000 on a CD. Somebody goes, "Well, that sucked, buddy." He was, "Holy crap! I wish you'd have told me that $20,000 ago." Yeah. Where were you 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. All right, we are here at Bronx Tack Room today. This is over here in crazy Fort Worth. It's on Exchange. This, they tell us, is a fairly new place. And
6 days old, they say.
6 days old. How about that? 6 days old, and the first thing you do is run a little YDC in here. Talk about getting off to a bad start. But we're glad to be here, nonetheless. And if you are out and about down here, Or if you live near here and want to come down here, come hang with us. Because we're going to be here for a couple hours. This is Steve Helms. These are the Signal 51 Chronicles guys. Jake White, John Henry, and I'm me from little old YDC. So come on down here. Hang out. All right. Let's see. I'm about out of stuff here. And that's bad because when I run out of stuff, everybody runs out of stuff. Oh, we are? We're supposed to have Steve play next.
Wow, that's a big risk you're taking, buddy.
Well, this whole thing is a risk.
Hope you have insurance.
This whole thing is a risk, and we have none.
I'll sing one, I promise.
All right. Go get your guitar, and let's do this.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Steve Helms coming right up with a little tunage for you all. Can we take a break here? Is that what you're telling me? Okay. All right, we'll take a little pause here. And we will be right back. This is the Your Dark Companion podcast.
Check 1, 2. Is that all right? Does it sound okay, though? You want me to just go? All right. It's Texas Rangers baseball season. This is the 19th season that the Rangers have played this song at every home game. So I'm going to do it for you right here. Nowhere but Texas. Blue bonnets, a yellow rose. Remember the Alamo. Chisholm Trail, Longhorn steers. Lukenbach, Abilene. Texas Rangers and Judge Roy Bean. And ice cold Texas beer. Nowhere but Texas. Well, that's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. Well, I know one thing, when God calls me, nowhere but Texas is where I'll be. We got cowboys, cowgirls too, Green Hall and Billy Bob's, Tex-Mex and barbecue, Robert Earl, Gary P. You can hear some Willie down on 6th Street. Nowhere but Texas, well, that's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. Well, I know one thing, when God calls me, nowhere but Texas is where I'll be. There's no way I'd ever leave. Everything I'll ever need's right here, right here. When I'm gone, you can bury me 6 foot deep in the heart of nowhere but Texas. Well, that's where I'll be. It holds the answers to all my dreams. Well, I know one thing, when God calls me, nowhere but Texas is where I'll be. Nowhere but Texas is where I'll be. Yeah, nowhere but Texas. Right here in the stockyards. There you go. 2 more? 1 more? Whatever you want. Yeah, I'm just turning my volume up a little bit here. I love the sound of a jukebox playing, so I sit here while she's staying home, watching reruns on TV. I love the taste of whiskey straight, but the strongest thing she ever takes is a sip from a small glass of Chablis. Though it burns of a different feather, our love keeps us together, and she knows what's wrong with me tonight. I got that Friday night fever. Sometimes a man just needs a breather. She knows I love her and I need her, and I'm no cheater. I just got that Friday night fever. She wouldn't change me if she could. I wouldn't change her, she's too good. Sometimes a man needs a change of pace. I've heard all those come-on lines, but I go home at closing time. I know no one could ever take her place. Now she's taking down her hair, but she knows I'll soon be there to give her the love she needs tonight. I got that Friday night fever. Sometimes a man just needs a breather. She knows I love her and I need her, and I'm no cheater. I just got that Friday night fever. I got that Friday night fever. Sometimes a man just needs a breather. She knows I love her and I need her, and I'm no cheater. I just got that Friday night fever. Yeah. Thanks, y'all. One more. Looks like the rain is setting for good. The skies have turned a permanent gray. The weather's doing exactly what I thought it would. Should ever walk away, Lord, this sidewalk sure is getting slippery. And I'm getting splashed by cars going by. But it don't upset me all that much. What's a little more water in my eyes? But I've got my trusty old umbrella. And I've got my Johnny Walker Red. And neither one of them can stop the rain. They just keep it off my head. I'm late for work. What the hell, it's Monday. I'll use this downpour as my excuse. Real reason being, you gave up on me. Turn this thunder and lightning loose. Yeah, you did. But I've got my trusty old umbrella. And I've got my Johnny Walker Red. Neither one of them can stop the rain. They just keep it off my head. And neither one of them can stop the rain. They just keep you off my head. We good?
right. We are on. We are back. We are rolling once again. What we have here is a podcast, a live podcast in a place with an audience. It is the Your Dark Companion podcast. Warming greetings to you all. I would be Mike Rhyner, and we would be in crazy Fort Worth today. We would be at Bronx Tack Room. And as fate would have it, joined up here by John Henry of the Signal 51 Chronicles podcast.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. We are joined by the proprietor of Bronx Tack Room. Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good. What is your name?
My name is Devin Ferris.
Devin Ferris. My name is Mike Rhyner. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Nice place you got here.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having us. How long has this place been here?
We opened 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Our grand opening was last Thursday.
And already you're into the realm of the podcast. Imagine that. I bet that's a place you never thought you would be.
You know, we kind of roll with the punches, so.
That's what you got to do.
That's right.
It's a crazy game out there. It can go either way at the drop of a hat. You know that.
I do.
Is this your first foray into this game, or have you had other places similar before? Or?
So we have a place in Dallas called Lonnie's. It was opened in 2024, so it's been open almost 2 years now. And our hospitality group is Wildcatters Hospitality Group.
Uh-huh.
I have two partners, Matt Peterson and Sam Wynn. Mm-hmm. And Lonnie's took off like a rocket ship, and so we decided to do another one, and no better place to do it than the Fort Worth Stockyards.
Certainly is. This is a bustling area. It's a really cool area. Every time I come over here, I usually haven't been here for a long time because these days I really don't have too much call to go down here, so I don't. But when I do, I come away thinking, yeah, they really did this right down here so many years ago. I mean, did you go looking for a place down here, or were you looking at some other areas and just found the right one down here? How'd that work?
You know, we didn't necessarily even have plans to open a second location, and we got hooked up with the landlord of this building probably 2.5, 3 years ago, around the same time we opened Lonnie's, and just kept in contact with him. And one of these days he said, hey, I've got another space that I'd like you guys to look at, and we started putting pen to paper, and here we are.
How long did that process take? Of putting pen to paper and going through all that and getting to this point?
2 years, easily.
It's a long process, isn't it? People don't realize that.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it on the front end.
You got to have a little stick-to-itiveness, right?
For sure.
I mean, permitting's a year and a half easily, right, Fort Worth, Texas?
Well, you know, we actually got it permitted fairly quickly.
Really?
Yeah. We have a friend, Drew Martin, and he's an expediter through the city of Fort Worth, and he helped us get it done relatively quickly. So shout out to him.
Perfect. Hoorah for the city of Fort Worth getting that done.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's a nice place. It's a cool place. It's a very comfortable place, and yeah, it's easy to find yourself in here and get squared away and feel like having a good time. You probably have a nice crowd on weekends and stuff like that. Of course, down here, probably have a nice crowd on virtually every night.
Right. So this venue upstairs here, they're both under the same name, Bronx Tack Room. This venue opens every day at 11 a.m. for lunch and stays open until midnight, except for Thursday through Saturday. We open the basement, which is 3 times this size, and it's open till 2 a.m.
Wow.
It's spacious down there.
Really?
Yeah, we have pool tables, darts, a dance floor. We have live music and DJs every weekend.
Cool. You got it all covered, don't you?
Well, we're trying.
Well, I appreciate you joining us here today, and good luck with this, man.
Thank you. Tell your friends.
Yes. Tell your friends about Bronx Tack Room. It's kind of confusing because I've been in here for a couple hours now, and I still haven't seen any tacks laying around.
Well, you have to go downstairs for that.
You do?
Oh, yeah. We've got
So the good stuff is downstairs.
Well, I mean, the tack is downstairs. We've got saddles and ropes hanging on the wall, so you have to go take a look.
All right, there you go. Come check it out for yourself. It's a cool, comfortable place. Hopefully, YDC will go there a lot. We dig it. We bet you will, too. It's Bronx Tack Room. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Out there now. Who wants to do a little producing? Okay. I think we're going to get Dwayne Thomas's daughter up here now. Now, this is something that I got to tell you, I'm very leery of this because Dwayne Thomas had an aura about him. And that aura was yes, Zalika, come on up here.
Can you hear me?
We
can now, unfortunately for you all.
This is the great Mac Engel.
Yes, it is.
Of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram.
Thank you.
And the Engel Angle.
Thank you.
Found on Stolen Water at the stolenwatermedia.com website, where you can find that podcast, you can find Your Dark Companion, you can find all the rest of the podcasts we have at that one easy, convenient location, Stolen Water Media. That's it.
All right.
All right, so now, in addition to Mac, we have a lady here that I don't know. We'll get to her in just a second. But this is Zalika Thomas.
Yes.
This is the daughter of Dwayne Thomas. And introduce us to your friend here.
Absolutely, my client and my friend. This is Megan Anderson, UFC champion, actress, model.
All right.
Yeah.
UFC champion, huh?
I used to do cool things once upon
Used
a
to?
time.
Hold on now, you're my client. We're still doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Hold on.
sell yourself a
You're
little
making me
better.
look bad.
I used to
Let's start
punch
over.
people for a living occasionally every Saturday night, maybe 2 to 3 times a year.
I have one question for you, Megan. Mike, I'm going to cut you off because anybody who watches boxing and specifically UFC MMA, women's MMA, wants to know what you think about what went down on Saturday night.
I knew this was going.
It had to come up. Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey in the fastest big fight that I have seen since Spinks Tyson.
Don't answer that question.
That's it. No.
Coming up right after this.
What did you think of it? I watched it. What did you think of it?
I mean, am I surprised? No. I mean, Gina hasn't fought in like almost 20 years. Ronda, it's like 10. So like Gina's like 15, 20 years almost. So like, I'm not surprised that happened. And if we're being honest.
Yes, please.
I mean, anything with MVP is money motivated. So you look at the entire card, it was like almost all first round finishes. So when I see that from an analytical standpoint, they weren't good matches. They were made to benefit one side and for money. So I think Ronda brought back like 2.2 million. Gina was like 1.7 or so. That's what the numbers are saying, like allegedly. So, I mean,
Gina got 1.7 for 20 seconds worth of work.
yeah.
Mike, where can I get that job?
You can't. You can't. I can't.
Where's
We
that
can't.
commercial break?
Yes.
Did you see it coming?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's Rhonda's bread and butter, right?
The armbar?
Yeah, that was her thing. Like the judo to the armbar. That's her thing. That's what got her to the like during Strikeforce days. That's what kind of got her in the limelight because she was just running through these girls.
Yeah.
She would take them down straight to the armbars, take them down straight to the armbar, and it wasn't until she got to the UFC, she really. I liked it. Like Ronda gets a lot of flack, but Ronda walked so Conor McGregor could run. Like, I don't think the UFC would have been as big if Ronda didn't transcend because she went into movies and she was like one of the few champions and athletes at that time that was allowing the media and everyone to come to every single training session. She was under the microscope from when she woke up to when she went to sleep. Like, she was so available and her whole life was available to everyone, that without her doing stuff like that and going into movies and being on magazine covers, she brought in such a wider range of fan base so that when Conor McGregor came through with his swagger and his walk and like the talk that he talked and the walk that he walked, he was able to be as big as he was because Ronda could really open the eyes to a lot of the fan base, because MMA for the longest time was seen as very barbaric sport. Yeah. It was violent, barbaric. Like I used to get a lot when I first started. You guys are you just go around fighting everybody. I'm like, most fighters, we are probably the most chill people. Why would I want to fight you when I've just been beat up in the gym? Right. Like all day. Like, I'm not getting paid for this. So a lot of the narrative around how people viewed fighters changed because of somebody like Ronda, and the backing that the UFC brand was able to kind of help change that narrative. So when Conor came through, look at what he's doing now. Yeah. Like he transcended the sport to another level. So yeah, am I surprised? No, but I definitely think that Ronda deserves a lot more respect than she is given.
I'm hearing you talk about this, and I, who knows nothing about this, I'm thinking, God, can it be possible that she's cool with this? But then the more I hear you talk, the more I see, just what she did for the game, and I guess, and at the end of the day, you are cool with it all.
Well, you look at just Dana White's words.
Yeah.
He said there's never going to be women in the UFC, and then Ronda came around. She changed it all. Like, I wouldn't have been in the UFC if it wasn't for Ronda. Like, all of us wouldn't be where we are without Ronda coming through and doing what she did in Strikeforce and taking people down, armbarring them again and again and again, and just going on this undefeated streak. She made somebody like Dana take notice and be like, hey, maybe we should actually bring women over to the UFC. And so without somebody like her, myself, Amanda Nunes, Valentina Shevchenko, we wouldn't be able to have careers in the UFC if it wasn't for somebody like Ronda.
Now let's turn our attention to you, Zalika Thomas.
When I was asked to fight,
I would have paid for that.
No,
I'm sitting here going, oh, no.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
So you are the daughter of the great Dwayne Thomas, and Cowboy fans of a certain ilk will have very vivid memories of him.
Yeah.
I being one of those.
Yeah.
I was around for that whole thing, that entire process, the whole Dwayne Thomas experience. As you were growing up, were you in contact with him much? Was he around for you much when you were growing up?
Yeah, he was my father. Absolutely. Now, I was not born when he played for the Dallas Cowboys, so I heard all the stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, my father was definitely in my life. He was an amazing man, and you know, nobody's perfect. And he loved the sport of football. He was very passionate from playing at Lincoln High School all the way to playing at West Texas State, and then being drafted first round, 1970, by the Dallas Cowboys. You know, he also played for the Washington Redskins, the Chargers. He just suited up for a game, so obviously a lot of different controversy, but he was in my life and showed me a lot of different things, introduced me to a lot of different people, and he was one of the most misunderstood football players, celebrities ever. But
I believe
those
that.
who know him, and I'm actually working on a documentary about my father. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. We
As
have a
one
lot.
who was around for it all, can't wait.
Yeah, from people from high school, from, you know, West Texas State, just people around, you know, the Cowboys, Washington Redskins, well, the Commanders now, formerly Washington Redskins. So, yeah, please stay tuned. Follow his page on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
So about 20 years ago, a little bit less than that, I was covering the Cowboys.
Sure.
And I was working on a book, and it was about the history of Texas Stadium and the Cowboys and all that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to Dwayne.
Yeah.
So, you know, players, ex-players get reputations with the media, and sometimes they're great, sometimes they're less than good. And Dwayne had a reputation, and I thought, I'll call him anyways and see what happens.
As you should, because it's just a reputation, right?
Right. So, but the part that I remember was he's not going to talk to you. That's what the guy said. He's probably not going to talk to you. He picked up, I introduced myself, and I would say...
How long did y'all stay on the phone? 2 hours or 3 hours?
There we go. Okay, that's
Dad
what I
is
wanted
very
to know.
loquacious.
Okay, so I asked him a question, and I believe the answer was more than 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I wanted to know was when you visited, when you talked to him,
Yeah.
was he just being nice to me in that moment? And he talked and talked and talked. So if you had asked him something, hey, Dad, what do you think? I'm like, okay, better settle in. I'm going to be here.
It's never a straight answer.
Okay.
It's never a straight answer. And then if my dad, I remember one time I was out with some friends, and he gave me a call, and I was like, this is my dad. I'm not going to be able to go. And I just turned around and just sat in the car for about an hour and then went back, you know, inside the restaurant. But because you just never know what he's going to say. He was brilliant. He was very intelligent.
Yeah, he was.
You know, and he can talk to you about anything because he loved to learn. Like, my dad studied the Giselle, like, the way his running style, as Too Tall Jones would say, he ran like at a slant. He would study the Giselle being chased by the cheetah because now we're thinking about gravity and he's cutting it. So he was able to hit those holes. Like, everything was strategic with him, you know? Yeah.
Did he ever bore you?
Never.
Wow, what a great, that's a nice thing to say about, because my mom.
Never. Like, I mean, this guy, I mean, even if I was about to be bored, he'll just say something and I'm like, wow, I never thought of it. I never thought of it. Okay.
You know, the neat thing is it took you about a half a second to answer that question.
Yeah.
And if you asked my daughter if I ever bored her, it would take her about a half a second to answer that question too. But
so which one is lying?
Yeah.
Which one is telling the truth?
That wouldn't be the answer.
Did you, by any chance, when you were younger,
Yeah.
and your dad, because I'm sure football was a huge part of his life.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever did it impress you at all? Or were you, that was just something that was a part of your life because you're part of your dad's life? It was like there was no big deal. Or was that something that was a big deal?
You know what? My father, all that attention we would get, because obviously once I was born, my father was not playing anymore, you know? But I did not like that attention. Literally, people in the last couple of years, like when my father passed away, they were like, we didn't even know that was your dad. Because growing up in school, they would treat you different. I mean, sometimes it was cool, but they would treat you different because of who your dad was. My dad was, and I just didn't like all that attention. I just did not like it. And so, yes, I mean, I love my dad. And I always knew he was a badass. Oh, a bad.
This is a podcast.
Amazing.
You say whatever you want.
A badass. And like always, and just the way people responded to him, it was just so ingenuous. Like they loved him, and then there was others who had their own opinions, as they should, because it's their opinion. But I definitely realized more and more of a badass he was. Probably the year he passed away. Some of the stories he was telling me, and a lot of it I have on audio clips. Oh yeah, it'll be in a documentary. But I mean, this guy, yeah, he was just amazing, and I'm glad he was my father.
He was a great football player, but there may have been, or there may be a more understood or more misunderstood guy.
Yeah.
To come through here in any sport with the Rangers, Cowboys, Mavericks, whatever. There may be a more misunderstood guy out there somewhere, but man, I can't think of who it would be. Because the crazy thing about it was, his place on the team was so prominent.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' offense was having trouble.
Yeah, they
back
were.
then.
And he came in Rookie of the Year in 1970 and led them to their first Super Bowl, January 16, 1972.
Yeah.
So, you know, he did accomplish a lot of other things. His, first 2 seasons with the Cowboys, but his legs led him to their first Super Bowl, along with the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, and the way he handled it all was just amazing, because at that time, it was kind of a different scene for athletes. It was kind of a different scene for the media altogether.
Yeah, it was.
Very, very different than what we have today.
And he just wanted to play football.
Yeah.
He was just there to play football. And, Coach Tom Landry, rest in peace, his coaching style, he's a brilliant coach, but his coaching style from a personal, level. Now, obviously, I wasn't there. This is what my father told me. Was different from, Coach Kerbal at West Texas State and, in high school. So, but at any rate, the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, and we're going to the Super Bowl 2027. How about that?
All right, Megan. So what are you doing these days if you're no longer beating the living hell out of other people for a check?
I mean, I'm doing a lot of different stuff. I just walked in DIFA here in Dallas. I went to the DIF, which is the Dallas International Film Festival, hosting. I hosted a Grand Prix event.
Yeah, Mayor Ross.
Yep, he was
there.
Hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
You got any movies coming up? You were in a movie that is actually, Ronda Rousey had a big part in one of the Expendables.
Yes.
You had a part in a movie that I love, Extraction 2.
Yes.
I loved Extraction 1. I've heard they are making a third one. Is that true?
So, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
But
it's a podcast.
Hey, this is a little podcast. Nobody's listening to it.
I do have a friend that who is one of Chris Hemsworth's stunt doubles. So he's just finished up filming Highlander.
Oh yeah.
With Henry Cavill. I think Dave Bautista is in that. So that's been going on for the last couple of years. It's taken, but he said that they just finished up filming that, and he's about to go right into filming Extraction 3.
Will you be in it?
Stay tuned.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
We can
Did
only
you
hope.
see Extraction 2? You need
No.
to see it. Oh, it's
No.
great. If you like,
But we can only hope.
Yeah.
I loved it. Are you doing any other movies?
We're working on it, yeah. We've got some stuff in the works.
All right, so I always ask people whenever I see expansive, a lot of body art.
Yeah.
I've noticed you have a few tattoos.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
I always ask this question, do you regret any of them?
No.
No.
Question.
I'm also the type of person that, I don't really regret a lot of things in life because what can I do? I can't go back and change it. So why regret something that I can't change? I can just learn from it. But most of my ink, no, I don't regret it. if anything, I just want to add to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do get a lot of like, oh, you're gonna regret that when you're older. I'm like, well, I'm older and I still don't regret it. So I'm sure I'll be fine.
Do you regret yours?
I don't have any. I have a mole. No, I'm not. I've jumped out of planes and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
But
couldn't even do that.
you couldn't do that.
Hell no.
Like that one.
The idea of jumping out of a perfectly safe safe plane.
I don't know if you had met the pilot. I don't think you would have thought that was perfectly safe at the time.
Also, then I probably wouldn't even got in.
Right.
But that didn't hurt. Like that looks painful.
It's
Okay.
Yes, I would say like some spots hurt more than others for sure.
I agree to that.
So it's definitely like it just depends. Like my forearm was nothing compared to like in here. It just depends. Different parts of the body, different pain tolerances, and also individually, we all have different pain tolerances. So sometimes, like somebody who gets their rib tattooed is going to be like, oh my God, this was easy, let me fall asleep. And then somebody else is like holding on for dear life, thinking, when is this going to end? Because it's just so painful. So it's hard to tell.
Oh, God, I can't imagine what that must be like.
Well, you have a few, right?
Yeah, I have a few. I think the one that hurt the most was this one because it was right here
They
on
say
that bone.
the fingers hurt a lot too,
Yeah.
More than the ankle?
Well, I don't have one on my ankle.
I've heard the
This
ankle is
the ankle
yeah,
does
probably so
hurt.
because it's right there by a bone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my
For me, anything over the bone, like even on my back, on the bone was fine. It was around, like the space around the bone, that hurt more for me. But I've also heard other people that was just like anything on the bone was excruciating.
Yeah.
So everybody's different.
How did you guys find each other?
Through a
The Yellow
friend.
Pages.
I like that, not the internet.
The white pages.
Yeah, the White Pages.
I looked
Through
up.
a
I
mutual
needed-
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
mutual
mutual
friend.
friend?
Yeah.
Now, that sounds like it could have been a Dwayne Thomas joke there.
Yeah, mutual friends. So I'm a brand strategist and aspiring filmmaker and an event producer. So
She's a jack of all trades. She's whatever you need her to be.
yeah.
She can do it all.
Well, hold on.
She can do it all. Yeah, pause.
I didn't take the bait.
Pause.
Yeah, I didn't take the bait. You've done stuff with Inc. magazine.
Yes.
What did you do for this is beyond my pay grade. What did you do for Inc. magazine other than maybe perhaps be a model?
I was like, that was such a long time ago. Yeah, pretty much. It was just like doing a photo shoot. And so I had a friend that is in the tattoo industry that had connections to Inc. magazine. He's like, hey, you need to get this girl in there, and that's kind of like how I got connected. And I had a photo shoot with a close friend of mine, Bo, who is also based out of Kansas City, and we were able to like do the photo shoot, send the stuff to Inc. magazine, and do the interview and stuff like that. So yeah.
How many fights did you have?
I think 15.
15 fights?
Yeah.
What's the most?
15, 16, around there.
How many fights have you had?
Right there.
Okay.
Because I'd lose them all. So when you look back at your career, what's the most painful moment that you've had as a fighter? And what do you think is the most painful moment that you have delivered or inflicted on your opponent?
Well, first of all, are you retired from this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't fight them. I don't.
Allegedly. No, allegedly.
If the price is
Right, I
right.
was going to say.
After this weekend.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
Gina Carano did say that she's interested to have more fights, and I'm not going to take her down and try to submit her. Like I would be cool to do like a boxing fight or like a kickboxing fight with Gina for sure. Well, because 145 was my weight division, and I would even be like, let's go up to 155 so we don't have to cut that. Right. Both of us don't have to cut that weight, because I don't know if I could make 145 anymore. But okay, so the most pain that has been inflicted on me,
yes.
I would say just losing in general.
Really?
I hate losing.
Oh.
Am I a sore loser? No. But do I despise losing with every fiber of my being? Also, yes. But I think like when you're an athlete and you've competed at that level, like you're all like, I can't even play like games, like board games or stuff like that, or like family games at Christmas time. Because I'm like, I can't handle that. Like it's the competitor comes out too much. And I'm like, I need to destroy everyone.
You're one of those uncomfortable. You're that person.
I
Don't
can't
play
be,
with her.
And I'm like, I will be the hype man. I will be the vibes. But I can't handle having somebody be like, oh my God, I beat Megan in solitaire. I beat Megan in like cornhole. I'm like, I've never played cornhole in my life, but I can't handle you having that over me. Like, I can't do it. So, no, so losing would probably just in general, but it's also because you know how much work you put in. And it's not like any other sport where, you know, NBA, I have another game in 3 days. I can redeem myself. It's not like the NFL where I have a game in a week. I can redeem. You fight maybe twice a year, and the stakes are so much higher.
And whatever happens, you got to live with it.
Yes, you have to live with it for months and months and months. And if you retire, you've got to live with that for the rest of your life. And so that's probably like my that thing, that the most pain that I've inflicted, I mean, I've broken like a lot of orbital bones on my opponents, so I feel like that would be pretty painful. So yeah.
Did you know it, like when you landed that punch, does that have a feel to it when you, because you know a golfer might say, if they strike a ball perfectly, they say they don't even feel it, or a baseball hitter, if they hit a home run, like they don't even feel it off the bat. It's that smooth.
So the thing is that, like, from my experience, is like anytime you would try to force like a knockout or like a big move or something like that, it would never work out. But anytime you just kind of like went with it, and it's always the punches that feel like nothing that drop somebody or like open up a cut or break something. I'm like, most of the time, the punches that did the most damage felt like I wasn't even doing anything at all. It just happened. And a big part of that too is like momentum. Like they're coming in, like it's like a car crash. And so, yeah, I don't really.
Was it important for you to hit first?
It wasn't really. I didn't have to hit first, but once I got hit, it would wake me up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh shit, I'm in a fight.
That's what I hear.
I was like, I need a. Whereas like some people would like they're like right off the bat.
Yeah.
But then some people, it would take a whole round for them to really like get into the feel of it, get the rhythm, get their timing. For me, it was like after the first exchange, whether I hit first or at the same or whatever it is, once that first exchange happened, that's when I settled in. I was like, okay, now we can get to work. Because like all those restless nerves, because all the nerves are there because you don't know how the fight's going to start. You don't know how it's going to go. There's so many variables. So once that first exchange happens and you kind of suss out like their timing, their range, their power, their speed, you're like, okay, now I have some information to kind of work off of.
Yeah.
Have you done stunt work?
I have, yes.
Okay, so I asked a former guy, he's a local guy, and he's the assistant producer, production guy for Sylvester Stallone stuff.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Great guy. Anyways, and he was like you. He was former MMA, and he graduated in stunt work. And the one thing I didn't ask him, I'm going to ask you, which was, how do you go from a fight where you really want to haul off and hit the shit,
know exactly
and now
where
this
is going.
one is basically a choreographed dance, and you've got to make sure if you're going to get paid, you miss.
Well, it's the crazy thing because, like, we're filming a fight scene and we're doing this fight scene from this distance apart. We're not even close to punching range. And
oh, like, so that's...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're not even... And that was, like, the weirdest thing for me to get used to is just, like, looking like you're hitting, like you're actually landing the punch, but you don't. And B, the distance. Because you, obviously in a fight, you're much closer because you're trying to actually land. Where here, we're doing this choreography for this fight scene from like this distance apart. And the only time we get close is if we have to grab a hold of the other person. And even then, it's like, say you got to throw a knee, you're landing with the thigh instead of like the kneecap. or you're throwing an elbow, but it's landing like here instead of actually on the face. Like that definitely took a little bit of adjustment, and it was really it was such a weird concept to wrap my head around, because I was like, oh shit, like I'm used to hurting people doing this. Now I have to look like I'm hurting you, but it's like a butterfly.
Is there any way to practice making a punch look like it's landing when it doesn't?
I mean, it's just acting. I mean, just time, practice, doing the choreography, and kind of doing that. But even then, you know, for Extraction 2, with Adam, we had a set like fight scene choreographed, but when you get to filming it, they're changing it all the time, depending on the angles, what they want, what looks good, what doesn't look good. And so you stick to that choreography as much as you can, but they're constantly changing things on the fly. My scene, like my death scene, I died like 5 different times, like 5 different ways.
How'd you die?
Like 5 different ways. So one was a shotgun, one was a pistol, one was something like a knife. Like so, and it depends on which one they end up going with in the final cut. So
did you have a preference? Like, did you have a preferred way to die? That's the way I want to go out. Let's go with that one.
No, no.
You don't get to choose, huh?
Just make it look good.
You don't get to choose how you die.
No.
Kind of like real life.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Ladies, thank you very much for this.
It's a pleasure. Thank you,
really
guys.
enjoyed having both of you, and thanks for doing this with us today. Thanks for being on Your Dark Companion. We appreciate it.
No, thank you for having us.
And let us know when that documentary is going to be out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And stay tuned for Mia's next fight and her next movie and her next fashion show. Everything.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. There they go. Let's see, who else we got out there now?
Who else do you want?
I want you.
You do?
Yeah.
Are we that desperate? No one else has shown up.
I just want to ask one question of you.
One question.
One question.
I don't have
and
any
then
money.
we'll get the mayor.
Oh, I got questions for the mayor.
I got questions for the mayor, too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Shoot, Mike.
Jason Kidd, gone. Surprised?
Yeah, yes and no. I was surprised because I had been assured by people that I know at the Mavericks that they weren't going to fire him because of the contract. I mean, he's due a lot of money, Mike.
Yes.
And they thought they're not going to eat that contract. I'm not surprised because 2 weeks ago when they introduced the new president of basketball operations, I asked the questions that I asked the new president, Masai. Listen, you've kind of left yourself open here to interpretation that you, by not committing to Jason Kidd right now, that we're going to sit there and draw the conclusion that he's not coming back. And he said, I've done this, the 2 other jobs that I've had, Denver and Toronto. And if you look at the situations, Mike, he inherited a coach and he brought them both back. Right? He kept them. So I thought, okay, this could go either way, and that the owner, Patrick Dumont, was really going to let him make the call. And he decided this isn't going to work. So when you ask me, am I surprised? No, because he didn't commit to him right away, and it makes sense that if your priority and your rhetoric is we've got to move on, we've got to heal, we've got to move on, we've got to heal, you can't do those things if you have the same head coach who was here and clearly knew something about the trade of Luka Doncic. You can't move on if he's still here. And in that regard, it makes perfect sense that they decided to let go of him.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about it, too. He was here for that. And I don't care what anybody says. Job one for this thing is getting past that.
Let me ask you this. You've been here forever. I don't think you could have gotten past it with him being here. Clearly, he lied about his knowledge and influence on that trade. I don't think he necessarily wanted it. I don't think he discouraged it. But my thing is, how do you really move on from this?
You don't. You don't. And you bring, on top of that, you bring a new basketball operations guy in here. no basketball operations guy is going to come into a situation like this with that hanging over the franchise if you tell him you got to keep the coach.
Totally agree with you.
You know, anybody who takes that job is going to come in here with the understanding that if he wants to keep the coach, he can.
Yep.
If he wants somebody else,
Yep.
maybe he's got a guy in mind, whatever the case may be, if he wants a new coach, he will get one.
And to do this, no franchise I can think of in this century has gone through more drama. Great, horrible, and now this, and amazing. And I'm talking about the draft pick of Cooper Flagg. You go from an NBA Finals, trading Luka Doncic, fire Nico. You win the draft lottery. You draft Cooper Flagg. The team still stinks. You have to fight. The fans got the GM fired. They fire Nico Harrison. The team still stinks. Now they bring in a new president of basketball operations, and he fires the head coach. I mean, that is a hell of a 2 years, right? That's crazy.
That's an incredible 2 years.
No, it really is, and I can't think of anything less like it. But to me, I think the most encouraging thing is that the owner said, okay, I screwed up, huge, and if we're going to get this right, I'm willing to eat between $50 and $60 million in guaranteed contracts between the GM, the coach, and probably another person or two in order to truly move on from it and to give ourselves the best chance to rebrand ourselves. And that's a big ask. I don't care how much money.
It's a huge ask, and so many people, for one reason or another, don't like Patrick Dumont, as is. But
what do you think of him?
I'm not a big fan, I must say.
Can I share my Patrick Dumont story? I
Sure,
haven't shared
sure.
this yet. So I'm at the press conference 2 weeks ago, and I'm sitting behind Rick Welts, the team president, and some other Mavericks executives. I ask a couple questions. It ends. It's fine. It's nice. And I'm standing there chit-chatting. After it's done, and I look out of the corner of my eye, and who's walking right towards me? Patrick Dumont. And I literally looked over my shoulder. I'm like, who's he coming to talk to? He was coming to talk to me. And I'm like, and he says, hey, I've been wanting to meet you. And I said, you have? And nobody wants to meet me. And he said, yeah, I read your stuff. And I said, you do? I'm generally surprised when I hear people say that. And I said, thanks a lot. I'm shocked. He said, no, I really appreciate you. You really give it to me. I really appreciate it. You've done a great job. I appreciate you covering us. Mike, you could have knocked me over with the lightest of feathers. We had a nice conversation about his kids, about owning the team, he couldn't have been any nicer. And I was thinking to myself, if you want to win people over, do that.
Yeah.
Because I have not killed him. Now, I haven't been flattering, but I have not killed him.
Yeah.
But in that exchange, 5-6 minutes, I was like, well, this shocked the hell out of me. And it totally changed my perception of what he wants to do with this team, where this is not just a real estate play to make a whole bunch of money on a project in Dallas, but now he's really gotten into owning a basketball team and wants to win, in part because I think his kids really like it. That's an exclusive here on Your Dark Companion.
Yes, it is. And I got to say, I'm surprised, but pleasantly
I felt
to
the same
hear
way.
that.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
All right, that is Mac Engel of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram and the Engel Angle. All right, we got some others coming up here. One is the mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor. Mr. Mayor, let's get him up here. Come up here and have a seat, sir. Oh, I'm coming off? I am? Okay, all right. The mayor's coming up here, and so is Tyler Kern of the Sunset Soccer Club. Right here.
Oh man, we're back here at the Bronx Tack Room here in.
Am I on here? Yeah, you look like the young version of Mike Rhyner.
We'll see what road I take in life and where that leads me. But we're here at the Bronx Tack Room. There's 2 bars in one building. There's an upstairs and a downstairs in the historic stockyards here in Fort Worth. I'm joined by a motley crew of characters here. Mac Engel to my left. Mac.
No, yeah, please, no autographs. Thank you.
Mayor Ross here, Mayor of Arlington. Thank
Absolutely
you for being
no
here,
autographs. Dude, you're wearing a KU shirt.
That's where I went to school.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I did my undergrad there, and I did my graduate work here.
My daughter did just the opposite. Undergrad at TCU,
Really?
graduate work,
Yes.
or law school at KU.
Really? Good
Yeah.
for her. I didn't get a law degree. I meant to.
Yeah.
So all the reading got in the way.
I would say you wouldn't be here with us, but he is. So,
Yeah.
you know, paths lead in weird places. And then Daniel
That's right.
Hernandez is here with us as well, former professional soccer player. We're going to talk a little soccer. We're going to talk World Cup. We're going to talk all of those sorts of things, Mac.
First question. Can I ask the first question?
You may.
Okay, I'm sure, Mayor, you've heard the World Cup's coming to Arlington.
Yeah,
You
I heard that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. In Dallas, believe it or not. But that's a different topic.
That's a different topic.
So on it.
Can I get another drink?
Right. So all the lead up, we have been listening to and consuming years worth of lead up to this World Cup in North America for the last 2+ years, right?
Right.
And now, over the last month, Jim, it's like all of this, the media coverage for it, you can never trust the media, but all the media coverage of it is just so overwhelmingly just negative.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed that or not, about prices and people aren't coming and the hotels are empty and all this different stuff. Ooh. Jim, you're a huge, huge part of why the World Cup is coming to Arlington.
Yeah.
What do you make of all of this rhetoric and all of these doomsday headlines that we're reading about the 2026 World Cup that starts in a month?
Yeah, so, here's the reality. If you look at the ticket sales right now, FIFA focuses their tickets on international travelers first, on getting that. And then the rest of them get released here in North America. Those will fill up rapidly. And if you look right now, they're saying that in most venues, you're only getting 3% left right now that have not been sold out. 4% here, 3% there. This is going to be a sellout no matter what. Now, people are a little skeptical thinking we're not having the hotel reservations yet.
Yeah.
We're not getting the heads in the beds like we were expecting. I think, give it time. Most of those rooms are going to fill up earlier or later on, closer to the matches. We're already at capacity in Arlington. Our hotels, all our Lowe's hotels, everything, we're blowing and going, and they're filling up there, and it's going to have that ripple effect going out. I think you're going to see a lot of traffic coming in.
We see a lot leading up to World Cups, these types of stories, and then once the tournament starts, everyone is very kumbaya and very happy that the tournament is happening, and things tend to kind of settle quite a bit at that point. And I mean, the Netherlands is going to be playing in Arlington. They always bring a massive contingent to any sporting event where they're a part of. And so, I mean, like, we're going to see some incredible fan bases.
The Netherlands are giving us a good challenge that we've never had from a city perspective, because they're giving us our very first ever fan march. I didn't know that that was a thing until we got the World Cup. We don't get fan marches for the Cowboys or the Rangers or things such as that. But the Netherlands are giving us our very first fan march, where they're going to have tens of thousands of people walking down the middle of the street to get to AT&T Stadium. And that's the most bizarre thing ever. So from a security perspective, from a city perspective, we have to manage that and say, listen, we want you to come out. We want you to do your thing that is beneficial for your team. But we got to do it safely. So it's going to be a good challenge.
So what's the path? Because I've been to AT&T Stadium 100 times. I've been to college football games, which is the comparison I hear a lot of for FIFA games. Internet is an American college football game, and say a huge international soccer match. Where are you going to put them? Like, where's that march going to be? That's going to be safe and convenient for them to be able to walk in Arlington to the stadium.
They're going to have to get off of Judge Roy's screen.
That'd be great.
Well, we're the only city in the country that has 3 stadiums within walking distance of each other. So what I envision them doing is, what I've heard is they're going to be somewhere around north side maybe of Choctaw and come down Ballpark to Randall Mill, and then take Randall Mill west into AT&T. They don't have the route exactly pathed out yet, but they'll get it there. I'm not worried about it. I may come out and march with them. You never know.
Paint your face, do the whole orange thing?
I'll do it, man.
I'd like to
Come
see
on.
that. All right.
They ball out. Now, Daniel, you played college here. You played pro here in DFW. What does it mean, like, from your perspective, having played here for so many years throughout your career, to then see a World Cup come back around to DFW and to see fan bases from all over the world coming to a place where you've played before?
Yeah, I mean, I feel lucky. You know, we were able to see the World Cup in '94. No one ever imagined it would come back in this lifetime. And to be able to experience it at the level that soccer is in the United States now is just a privilege. And I've heard the negativity about the ticket prices and so forth, but for me as a soccer fan, that doesn't bother me because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people to see all these countries, all these cultures in the international level, on the soccer level. I mean, I think most people would pay whatever to make sure and experience these games. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Dallas, Arlington, Texas, all the United States that are able to see these games in person. This is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So tell me, as a soccer player, pro-con this for me. Tell me why you like the expanded field. We have more teams now in a World Cup than ever before. 64, is that right?
48.
48.
48. We have 48. Tell me why you like 48, and tell me why you don't like 48.
Why I don't like 48? There's probably some additional teams that made it that maybe shouldn't be playing at that level. Why do I like it? We get to see more games. Because at the end of the day, you're here to see the top teams, right, at their elite level. And so even if those lower tier teams are playing, they're going to be playing top tier teams. So for, I think, any soccer fan, that's the most important, to be able to see the Leo Messi's play. And so for me, it's just a matter of being able to see any World Cup game. That's the most important part.
It's pretty incredible. I mean, given the fact we're going to see just such a breadth of country represented. I mean, countries like Haiti haven't made the World Cup in forever. They're getting to play in this one. I mean, you're getting to see maybe some athletes that haven't gotten to a chance to participate at this level in the past, and now expanded field. I think we might see some games that are a little bit more defensive-oriented, perhaps, because 8 of the third-place teams now move on to the knockout stages, which wasn't the case in the past. And so you might see some games that I think are more tactically stalemated because teams are not wanting to come too much out of a shell and that sort of thing. But I'm looking forward to that. And like you said, there's the opportunity to see somebody like Leo Messi that, I mean, man, I made it out to Argentina-Mexico friendly, I think back in like 2016 in Arlington, you know, and it's you don't get a chance to do that all that often, just right in your backyard, you know?
Well, I think part of the also privilege of seeing all these teams in the World Cup and the extra teams that are additional teams that are making it this year is, you know, we talked about the Walk of the Netherlands. To be able to see all the different soccer cultures from all these different countries, that's one of the things that I preach to my daughters all the time is like, be able to experience all these other cultures and see around the world what all's going on. And to have them here locally and see it in person, I think that's a huge privilege.
Okay, so I was in Germany the last time the United States won a knockout game. You remember that?
I do.
Mexico.
The 02?
Yeah, it was 02.
Yeah.
And I think, is that the only time the United States has won a knockout game?
It depends on how far back in history you want to go. 1930, the U.S. came in third place.
Okay.
But there was only...
How do you even know this stuff?
Look, if you're going to host a soccer podcast,
Yeah, true.
you got to know your random stuff. I mean, there were only, I think, 12 teams in that.
On January 30th of 1930, they won a knockout game.
Yeah, don't ask me dates.
I'm like,
So you know, though, that was the last time the United States won a men's game, a knockout game. And we thought back then, we're getting better.
Here
we're
we
going
go.
to be there. We're going to get to a Final Four. We're going to get to a champ. We're going to win it. And we're no closer today. In fact, we're further away today, at least by the standings, than we were 20-plus years ago. And since then, all this criticism of America's youth soccer culture and system has become deafening. Are we any closer today than we were the last World Cup? It just seems like we're good now. We're competitive now. But there's something that's preventing us from being, despite the population, despite the money, there's something preventing us from beating Germany, Italy, France, Argentina, the Netherlands. What is it, and will it be different this time?
Well, to be honest, being optimistic,
yeah,
I think we do have a chance. That's being optimistic. And I would say if you look on paper, all the players that we have on the national team that will be playing in this World Cup, they all play huge club teams all over the world. And so on paper, we have a stacked roster. The problem is the last year or so, we haven't had the greatest record as a national team playing together. And is that a coach issue? I don't know. Is it a chemistry issue within the players? I don't know.
Is
what
it a
the
talent
answer is.
issue?
I don't know. I absolutely
not talent.
No, absolutely not. I think
Is
we
it
have
anything
more talent.
because of America's youth soccer at ages 5 through 11?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, there's some things that are broken, obviously, that needs to be fixed. But look at the roster of the World Cup of the U.S. national team. Almost every single player is playing for a huge club team in Europe or somewhere around the world, some of the biggest clubs. And they've had the experience of playing Champions League or Premier League.
That's right.
So I think on paper it's there.
I know you have thoughts on this.
Oh, I've got so many thoughts on this. Well, first of all, I think it's a uniquely American brand of hubris to believe that the rest of the world can get like 100-year head start, like really, really caring about a sport. And then we come in and say, we should be good at this. Why aren't we good at this? You know, and then like continuously ask the question of like, why can't we beat these other countries that live, breathe, die this sport? Why aren't we winning this? And so I do think that is a little bit of an American mindset that we have. I think there is something unique about soccer where like it has to kind of be in your blood to a certain extent, and we just haven't built up that generational knowledge and understanding of the game, and I think love of it the same way that maybe other countries haven't. I don't know that you can program that into a youth system. I don't know that you can create just simply wanting to be good at it will never be enough.
So you think it's more cultural? Like we're seeing countries that have a fraction of America's population.
Oh,
Yeah, go
listen,
ahead.
let me weigh in on here. First of all, I think it is more cultural, but look at it like this. What's the biggest sports franchise in the world?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. When was the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
You tell me.
Yeah, a long time ago. Now, I love the boys, don't get me wrong.
I bet you do.
But they're the world's largest, best sports franchise anywhere. It doesn't change the impact that team, that franchise has on young people. It doesn't really change the impact that they have on keeping that culture of American football alive. I think what it is a cultural thing that we're the new kids on the block. We're the new kids with soccer. We're the ones that are there, and we have this mentality now that we expect to win. We expect to win it all. Cowboy fans are no different. We expect to win.
Yeah, but at least with the Cowboys, Jim, you can sit there and say, well, they did it. You know, I mean, granted, it was 30 years ago, but they do have a history of 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems like what you're talking about, that America in soccer, let's be generous. We really only got started to be competitive 25, 30 years ago?
Yeah, at best.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I would say so. And again, talent-wise, I think we're in a whole nother stratosphere. I think back when we were qualifying to the next round of the World Cups and so forth, the talent was there. I don't think we had the experience. I don't think our players had the experience of playing in big clubs, big atmospheres, big environments, like a lot of the other countries do. Now we don't have that excuse.
So take a guy like Christian Pulisic, terrific player.
Yeah.
For us, rank him. Where would you rank him amongst the top players in the world?
I'll say Fox just had him ranked in the 70s.
In the 70s?
Of all of the players in this particular World Cup.
Is he the best player for the United States?
I don't think so.
I'd say Weston.
Yeah, I don't think it's Pulisic. No.
Okay, so where would Weston rank?
They also had him in, like, I think the high 60s, maybe low 70s.
Okay, so of all the players, Daniel, you just mentioned, we've got all these guys now on these playing overseas for the big clubs and making the big money. Are they the best players on the team, or are they just on the team?
I think Pulisic and Weston McKennie are two of the top players on their respective teams.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the one thing that we're missing is maybe we have a lot of ranked 50, 70, 80, 100 in the world. We have a lot of those guys. We don't have any top 10 players. And a lot of the big countries, Brazil, Argentina, they have that number 1 guy, number 2 guy.
I think France is leaving at home for this tournament. They just named their roster. I think France is leaving at home guys that would rank in the 80s, 90s, because their team is just so loaded, so stacked. And I think that there is a future coming where you have to believe in, like, the process of creating the structure and the infrastructure it takes to build great soccer players here in the United States, and the generational, I think, knowledge that comes with that and that understanding. I think that that's going to take time. But I do believe that process is happening and is producing really, really good players. And the more really, really good players you produce, the more lottery tickets you get that one of these kids is going to pop, right? And I think I'm curious about your opinion on this, Daniel. The MLS Academy system is starting to kind of professionalize players at a younger age, get these kids in and give them that platform and that opportunity to truly fulfill maybe their potential that maybe was missed in the past.
Then you guys can answer me this. One thing I always hear in every international tournament when the United States plays and ultimately doesn't fulfill its potential assigned by somebody else, it's always the coach always gets blamed. Bruce Arena sucks, and it was out in that cycle. There's always one of 2 or 3. It's always the same guys. Is the amount of bitching and blaming that American soccer fans hoist upon its coach, whomever it is, any different than it is in Germany, the Netherlands, Italy, France? Is it all the same thing, or are we different in that regard?
I would say it's about the same because the coaches in any sport always get blamed, right? If they don't win, they get blamed. That's the first person to get fired.
Are you speaking as a coach for your daughter's team?
I've been on the fence a couple times of being let go, yes.
Do your daughters ground you when you get home and say, Dad,
Well, I'll tell you this. All of my daughters quit soccer about 3 or 4 years before they got to high school, so that might tell you something. Yeah. I will say that, I think the difference, at the end of the day, it's when you get on the field and you have the talent, you can say all you want about the coach, but at the end of the day, you step on the field, it's your job to perform. And if the guys are not doing their job, then I say that also falls on the players, even though lots of times the coaches get blamed. If you look at the previous World Cups with Bruce Arena or Bob Bradley, when we had success, we have more talent now than we had then, but what a lot of ex-players, ex-national team players will tell you is they say now the excuse is that we just don't play with the heart that we played in the previous World Cups, don't play with the grit. And a lot of that was because we wanted to prove something to the rest of the world, and now they feel like the players now are spoiled, make a lot of millions and millions of dollars entitled. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's the case, but that's kind of what people talk about. And I think if they can bring that grit and heart and pride with the talent that they have, 100%, I think they could do some things in the World Cup.
I think you're right. I think it's worth mentioning that just in the history of the World Cup, not many countries have won this thing. We've been playing it since 1930, And the last team to kind of break into the fraternity of teams and nations to win this thing was Spain in 2010. But outside of that, like, it's the same. It's the same countries.
Italy, Argentina,
yeah,
Brazil,
it's your
France.
Brazil, Italy, Argentina.
Yep.
Like, you can name them. I think there's 8 total
That's
countries
it?
that have ever won this. And like nations like the Netherlands that have put a massive stamp on how we play soccer, how we think about the game. I think some of the most influential figures in thinking about soccer have come from the Netherlands. They've never won it. They've been runners-up a couple of different times, and so it's a freaking hard thing to do. So I think it's worth remembering that when it comes to this tournament, that for a lot of nations, and I think the U.S. included, getting to the knockout round and winning a game in the knockout
That's a huge
round
deal.
would be a massive success. I think that they have the opportunity to go deep, like Daniel mentioned, just with some of the players they have. It's just never a given, and it's not easy to do in a knockout round tournament. You know, the randomness of a March Madness, you know, lose and you're done kind of knockout round once you get there means that anything can happen.
I will say with the talent that we have on this roster, we can beat any country in the world.
You really believe that?
Yeah. If they play up to par, to their ability, 100% with the talent that we have on this team, we can beat any team in the world on any given day. Problem is, will they do it or not?
Jim, before I forget, I want to ask you this because I think there are a lot of people out there who are interested in going to AT&T Stadium and being there even if they don't have a ticket.
Sure.
And I've read some things that traditional tailgating that American fans associate with NFL games, college games, it's going to be different. Can you tell us what exactly the fan who wants to be a part of the World Cup scene and at AT&T Stadium and doesn't have a ticket, can they still be a part of it at the venue?
Yeah, you know, here's the thing. FIFA controls the AT&T parking lots that are there.
Okay.
And they don't necessarily control the additional parking lots around Globe Life Field, Choctaw Stadium, the museums, those type of parking lots that are further away. We want people to come and have a good time. And you have a good time by celebrating the way you do it. We have a tendency to tailgate more here in the United States than they may over in Europe or Asia or other places. FIFA doesn't really want tailgating, but we don't have tailgate police. So we're going to make sure people don't violate the law, but tailgating in other parking lots, there's nothing illegal about that. So as long as people are having a good time and enjoying themselves, they're going to be able to do what they want to do over there.
Okay.
So there's going to be so much to do. We have Texas Live. We have all of the other attractions there in the entertainment district. You know, you don't have tickets to the game. You just want to come and participate in the atmosphere. We have the atmosphere. It will be going on everywhere.
That's good to know.
One of the excited things is this is the first time, I think, Jordan has ever made the World Cup. Jordan is playing in Arlington, and the Jordanian Consul General has reached out. They are so excited about it. They have a 3-day festival coming in downtown Arlington where they're bringing in 5,000 or 6,000 Jordanian citizens to have a festivity, and it's doing it through their tourism department with the intent of saying to all the Americans, come out and visit us. Come see what we offer here. And they'll be, you know, airing the Jordanian game because they're playing Argentina, so it's probably the only game they're going to get to play. And they're playing Argentina at the stadium.
So if a match starts at noon, because I know one thing, I remember when the Super Bowl was here, and the Super Bowl is a different deal in how they line security up around the stadium. I don't know if you were in office for the Super Bowl then or not.
No.
Okay, so that's a.
But I was at the Super Bowl.
Okay, so you remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will this be the same in terms of barricades outside of 18? I mean, it was a big perimeter. Will this be the similar deal?
Yeah, it'll be a similar deal. There'll
Okay.
be a big perimeter fence around those parking lots. FIFA controls everything within that perimeter fence there. So only FIFA vendors will be in there. Only FIFA sponsors will be in there. It is a FIFA-controlled atmosphere.
What time should they get there? Sorry, I want to ask one more thing.
No.
If a fan wants to come and be a part of the scene, I think everybody's kind of got an idea of traffic's going to be terrible. and I don't know if you would know the answer. What time would you advise them to say, if the game's starting at noon, maybe you should?
Yeah, so it depends on how you plan on getting there. There's going to be areas, if you're going to take an Uber, Lyft, or some type of rideshare thing, there's going to be areas that they get dropped off close to the vicinity, so you may only have a couple of blocks to walk to get there. You're not going to be able to get dropped off right there at the stadium. We're going to have chartered buses that go from the Centerport station where the Trinity Express is just north of Arlington. So people coming on that train will come down on a charter bus, and people coming from Dallas and Fort Worth will come in on charter buses, and there's a parking lot there around Globe Life Field where they will drop everybody there for the buses. So you're going to be able to get there, but you're going to have to come in. Plan on at least 3 or 4 hours early so you're not rushing through security, you're not doing all that kind of craziness, and expect big crowds.
Let me see if I can work this in a way that doesn't make Mayor Ross angry. You can come here first. There's going to be a shuttle location right at the corner.
You're not going to talk
right
about public
here.
transportation in Arlington, are you?
No,
Yeah.
No, I would never.
Listen, let me just say this right now. Give me your script.
Yeah, here, read this.
Please come to Bronx Tack Room before all FIFA games
There
so
you go.
that you can get out and enjoy Bronx, because we want you out here. Now, don't go anywhere else other than Bronx.
Yes.
Okay? Just come to Bronx because it's the best place in Fort Worth. They're going to have direct transportation to Arlington,
That's
and
it.
you're going to be good. Any other time, come to Arlington.
That's
all
right. That's right. Go
How
to-
was that?
That was
Am I
perfect.
okay with
Good
that?
job.
That was perfect.
Why is he here?
Yeah. I'm asking the same thing. I'm just going to sit here. No, but Bronx has been so great having us out here today. We have the Pork Belly BLT, which I think is this right here, a Nottawada Patty Melt, and then the world-famous margarita. Who's going to down the margarita? Who's claiming
The
that?
mayor.
Dude, I'm the mayor.
The winning mayor.
Wait a minute, I
The
just
winning
got
mayor.
reelected, so
Right.
I can do whatever I want
right.
now.
That's right. You're the winner here. So come out to Bronx.
Are you officially a lame duck mayor now?
I am officially a lame duck
Well,
mayor.
go ahead and down it.
All right, I'll do it. What
Heck
the
yeah.
hell?
We love it.
You don't have to tell me twice. You guys go ahead and eat. I'm going to have
Oh,
me a margarita.
if he's gonna get sauced, who's gonna win the World Cup? Sorry.
That's a great question. I think this one seems very wide open to me. I think
Are we
France.
gonna get new blood?
France always has really. I do think if there is new blood, I like Portugal. I like Belgium. I think they've got really talented squads this year. Belgium has a guy named Jeremy Doku who plays for Manchester City, who I think is ready to kind of burst onto the international scene. Portugal comes with a really deep squad. Most people know Cristiano Ronaldo, but he, to me, has aged out of being a really impactful player at the international level, but I like Portugal a lot. Those two countries would be new to winning the tournament. Otherwise, you always have to like France. They have so much talent all the way up and down the roster. Spain, I think, is my pick to win. Just really talented teams. But Daniel, who do you like?
I'd agree with you, but I'm going to go with France.
Yeah.
I think they're just so stacked. I mean, like you mentioned before, they're leaving home a lot of really good players.
Are they leaving home a team? Like, is their B team? Could they qualify?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
France. So here's maybe just an interesting picture of the difference between the U.S. and France. The best players in the world are being produced in low-income neighborhoods on the outskirts of Paris, filled primarily with immigrants from different African countries. A lot of these players for France could also represent the nation of their parents' homeland, right?
Like Nigeria or
Ghana,
something.
Nigeria, places like that. But soccer is part of that culture there, and I think that matters in this conversation. People love to ask what if the best athletes in the U.S. played soccer, which I think is a little bit of a misguided question, because I think you could take it one or two ways. I think what most people are asking are, what if a higher percentage of our young people at a really young age decided to play soccer? And that's never a bad thing, right? But it's about coaching, it's about having the right structure,
So
and
you don't
France
think
does that.
Who's the best athlete on the Dallas Cowboys right now, would you say?
Who's the best athlete?
George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, sure. Let's say CeeDee.
Well, let's say you take CeeDee Lamb. Let's say you take CeeDee Lamb as a 5-year-old, and you put him on a soccer field. What are we looking at?
Brandon Aubrey's a great answer.
That's not a bad example.
Did you play with Brandon?
I didn't.
Okay.
Nope.
I couldn't remember what his timeline the. Or no, he went to Toronto, didn't he?
He went to Toronto. Yeah.
That's right.
But he was way after me.
Yeah.
Plano, Notre Dame, Toronto,
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yep.
I'm not positive you're looking at a professional soccer player.
Really?
Because you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a professional. I play pickup with guys with broken knees. You know.
Doesn't matter. You're an expert.
So here's the thing: the best player of all time, in my opinion, is Leo Messi, a 5'4", 5 guy from Argentina who needed HGH to get that big, right? I think part of our struggle with identifying good players is that we overemphasize athleticism and we say that athleticism is the problem with our players. I don't know that it is. I think that our players are wonderful athletes to play soccer. I think that the issue comes more from just like a playing DNA and how you choose to play the game.
Messi doesn't have the true athletic ability that other soccer players have.
Oh, I think he's an incredible athlete, but not like a CD Lamb kind of, right? Like where we look at the guy that's 6'3", just completely jacked from head to toe and that sort of thing.
Like the mayor.
Yeah,
Same thing.
like Mayor Ross here.
So Taylor, answer me this: every World Cup always exposes some old superstar who's hung on too long, who's washed up, whose national team put him on the roster by accident, and it turned out to be an accident. There's a couple guys in this tournament I'm looking like they may look washed and they may be sort of a healthy scratch. Who are we looking at? Either one of you guys, both of you guys. Who are we looking at and saying this may not be pretty?
I'm going to say the most famous, probably one of the most famous soccer players is Ronaldo. I think he's going to struggle.
I couldn't believe they put him on the team.
Yeah.
Neymar for me.
Okay.
In Brazil,
Yeah.
has always struggled with injuries. Got the absolute heck kicked out of his body as he was playing in Europe, and especially in France, where it's a physical league. And
what they put him on the team?
Well, I will say this: has he been named to the team yet?
Yeah, he has.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has.
I didn't know that.
I think he's played around 600 minutes in the Brazilian league this past year, which is not a whole lot of game time in his legs to be fresh. I think it's more of a figurehead kind of person to be on the team rather than somebody who makes an impact on the field. I hope not, but that's also because I just
he's not there to sell tickets. I mean, is he going to do anything?
Well, what's crazy is some of his teammates have been talking about whether he was going to make the roster or not, and his teammates, younger guys, are like, that's the one guy I hope makes it.
Oh, they want.
I would love to play with him.
I think it's a leadership thing. I don't think it's he's going to make an impact on the field. But I mean, you can only take 26 players to the World Cup. You have a limited roster. 3 of those have to be goalkeepers, and you play a lot of games in a pretty quick succession. And so giving a roster spot to a guy that you hope doesn't see the field, to me, doesn't seem to be a prudent decision just from a numbers perspective.
Then do the other way. What players are we going to see that you are going to really, young guys, take ownership and sort of launch themselves into a different stratosphere of stardom?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I have a couple of thoughts. Arda Güler, who's a center midfielder who plays for Turkey, who the U.S. is going to play in their final group stage match. 21 years old, plays for Real Madrid in Spain, which is, when you talk about clubs that rival the Cowboys in terms of their size and scope on the international scale, it's always, the Dallas Cowboys won in terms of largest franchises in the world, Real Madrid or Barcelona too. So this kid, 21 years old, plays for Turkey, completely outstanding. And look, if he does something big against the U.S., that launches him into stardom, right? Like, does it in L.A. against the United States? Yeah. I think that's a pretty big stage. And then I mentioned him earlier, Jeremy Doku plays for Manchester City in the Premier League and plays for Belgium. Belgium has had this golden generation that seems to now have aged out of stardom, and all of the expectations seem to gone like left with that golden generation that's kind of aged out and retired. And now in comes this guy, Jeremy Doku, who I think is a really, really good player in the best league in the world. And I think that if he's able to actually lead Belgium further than maybe this golden generation that everyone has left and now is saying, like, Belgium's not going to be anything. If he's able to go further than that team, then I think that maybe he's a star on the international scale.
Who's the hidden standout on the U.S. team?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a really good question. I almost know too much about the team. Everybody knows Christian Pulisic already. He's kind of, he is the name. Weston McKennie is a local kid from Little Elm that came up through the FC Dallas Academy. So most people know Weston McKennie. I'd say
Tim Weah,
Okay.
and I think he had a great last World Cup.
Yeah, he did.
But nobody really talks about him.
Mhm.
And lots of times he's not even in the starting roster mentioning. But I think he's so effective. I think he possibly could have a great World Cup.
I like that. I like that answer a lot. Another guy, Tanner Tessman, I think is going to start maybe in the midfield. Was in the FC Dallas Academy. Was actually committed to play kicker for Clemson. His family's real good friends with Dabo Swinney.
Yep.
You heard this story?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know
Committed to go play football at Clemson. FC Dallas comes with a professional offer when he's 18 and says, actually, like, you want to play professional soccer? And he says, yes, plays for FC Dallas for a year, and then hops over and now plays in France. I think he's going to end up starting in the midfield for the U.S. and be a really cool story.
Great story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great story.
That's awesome. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Tanner Tessman, I
Yep.
think he'll be a fun one to follow for the U.S. If a young striker gets on the field, Ricardo Pepi, that's another FC Dallas product. Came from El Paso, really, really good striker. Plays in the Netherlands now, but that's another guy to watch, I think, for the U.S.
Jim, how many matches do you plan on going to? We've got 8 or 9.
We have nine
Nine?
matches.
More than anywhere else.
I'm going to at least 6 of them.
Heck yeah.
So I already have my tickets for 6 of them.
We're all going to be
Did
sitting
you buy them?
in Jim's box.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Some of them I've had to buy. Some of them I got. Yeah.
I won a lottery for 2, and because I thought, I know people I can, and they were all like, yeah, no, we can't help you. You're going to have to go through the lottery.
So FIFA did give me
I would
tickets
hope.
to some games, but here's what they said.
You can go up in the 500s.
They said you can go to all 9 games if you want. You get 1 ticket.
One?
1 ticket, and I'm like, seriously? What the hell am I going to do with 1 ticket? I'm going to walk in there as the mayor and sit by myself up in the nosebleed somewhere, and like, hey, go. Not know anybody on any team, and I'm just going to be like, hey. I said, I'm not going to go to all 9 games like that, but I did say I'm going to go to a bunch of them. So I've never been to a World Cup game. I want to be honest. I've never been to one. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity when you're 65 years old that I want to go see this stuff firsthand, and I want to be a part of it. So,
Mac, like, you've covered a lot of
Yeah.
massive events. Like, I don't know, what level of excitement does having a World Cup here in Dallas again, like, kind of bring for you? Sorry, Arlington.
I thought, I thought there was a disappointment, and if you guys remember it, I know you did, Jim, when the bracket or the teams or the cities were announced. There had been, and I had interviewed you about it. There was so much speculation that Arlington was going to get the World Cup final.
Right.
You remember that? I mean, for like 2 years, we had seen reports, and I asked anybody I knew in FC Dallas and MLS. I asked the mayor, and they all said the same thing. We said we hope, but we don't know. And then I think all of us wanted to believe that report. And I thought when that announcement was made out of Miami that it was going to ultimately go to New Jersey, not New York, New Jersey, but that we were going to get 9 matches, which was more than anybody else. And you could feel the disappointment from Emmett Smith to Dirk Nowitzki, Marty Turco. All these guys were like, geez, we didn't get the final. We lost the final.
dude, I was there with Dan Hunt and Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
And they were disappointed.
And I thought, you were in the room with them at 18.
Yeah, I was.
And I thought, we're missing the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
In that you've got Arlington that's going to host more matches than any other city. And to me, the win here, and I think I said it then, I'll say it now. We are not blessed geographically with an ocean. We are not blessed geographically with a Great Lake. We are not blessed geographically with a mountain range. We're a great place to live, but we don't have those kinds of geographical hooks that want to bring people here.
Yeah.
What we have is a lot of people like Jim, like Jerry Jones, like Monica Paul with the Dallas Sports Commission, like the Hunt family, God bless them for what they've done. To me, to get 9 World Cup matches here is an incredibly underappreciated win for Dallas, for Arlington, for Fort Worth, for all of the surrounding communities. And as someone who's lived here now a lot longer than I have not, since '96, I was thrilled the fact that that was such a win for this community, greater area community, that we got 9, and I am really stoked about that.
Let me tell you, this January I was in D.C. with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and I was cutting it up with Karen Bass, the mayor of L.A., Quentin Lucas, the mayor of Kansas City. The Hunts own the Kansas City Chiefs up there.
That's right.
And they have FC Dallas. So we were joking around about who has the best stadium. Well, there's no comparison on who has the best stadium. The FIFA president came in while we were there, and he has the big trophy with him, and we're sitting there talking and cutting it up, and I said, hey, tell him who has the best stadium. And everybody's like, oh, you did not just do that. And he says, without a doubt, Arlington has the best stadium. And I said, there you go. And then I turned and I said, why don't we have the final game?
Yeah, Mr. Infantino.
What did he say?
I think it came down, he didn't say it specifically. I got the impression it was a cultural thing because New York, New Jersey Stadium that they're calling it now, New York has this international flair to it, you know. Everybody knows New York, and they just call us the Dallas Stadium. What the hell ever, you know? It's one of those things where you're like, oh, come on. So I think they knew we had the best stadium. They wanted to play most of the games here. The field is off the charts. I've been in there recently. I've seen what they've done to the stadium and to the field.
Yeah, with the growing real grass in there.
They're growing real grass in there. It is just phenomenal. And, you know, it will be by far the best place ever. And remember, we got another World Cup coming around the corner.
Women's.
We ain't going to let that thing fly by either.
I think it's also worth pointing out that Dallas and, like, the surrounding areas have been incredibly influential when it comes to the soccer culture that exists right now in the United States. With the creation of MLS, Lamar Hunt really helped drive that and played a really, really big role in that. And then just the youth soccer culture that exists here in Dallas, the fervency of fandom that exists here, and even tournaments like the Dallas Cup that take place every year at the Cotton Bowl and things like that. Just really, really big cultural things happen soccer-wise here that I think just from like the game getting to be as big as it is in the United States owes a lot to what we do here in DFW.
I think, you know, you mentioned it and I said it. I don't think, you know, obviously sports fans, dedicated sports fans know about Lamar Hunt and what Lamar meant to this community with the NFL or AFL before he took the Texans to Kansas City and turned them into the Chiefs. I don't think the Hunt family, but really Lamar, can get enough credit for where soccer is in this country. Because without Lamar eating all of those losses for what, 15 years?
Yeah, for a long time.
For a long time. If he hadn't been that passionate and had that much of a vision, we're not talking here today about the World Cup coming to Dallas and the United States. He did it.
You're absolutely right.
I don't think, I mean, God rest his soul, he's been gone for a while, but boy, I mean, and I know he was a revered figure in Kansas City for what he did with the Chiefs, but soccer, and I'm sorry, the world, because everybody wants the U.S. market. We saw what Formula One has done to finally crack the U.S. market. We're not here without Lamar Hunt's vision, passion, and bank account to eat all these losses for 20 years to see soccer through to now where it is a viable professional sport, where it's not just a recreation for kids, where this is something that people can pursue, men and women, as a career here in 2026 with the World Cup. And I had a chance to meet him a couple times, great guy, and I think, you know, I wish he could see it today because I think he would be
wonderful
overjoyed.
family.
Yeah.
Their whole family is just, they're great. Great friends with them. Been friends with them for a long time, SMU guys, you know, and so I would just add that I think you're exactly right. Not just in Dallas, but soccer would not be what it is today in the whole United States if it wasn't for Lamar. He's one of those pioneer guys for sure.
There's a story that colleague, a guy I used to host a radio show with, Steve Davis, used to tell about MLS was on the verge of folding at one point. It was only Lamar that kept it
Is that
going.
right?
Got on the
I never
phone,
knew
rallied a couple of owners. I think around 01, 02.
Yeah.
Rallied a bunch of owners, kept it from going under. They poured a bunch of money into it and kept the league afloat. Actually,
I think they owned 3 teams.
Yeah, they did.
They owned
once.
Columbus, Kansas City at one point, and FC Dallas
Yep.
back then. And I think stuff like that is
amazing.
really important, and I think it's important to what goes on here. And I think I want to encourage people, if you're getting excited about the World Cup and you're going to watch soccer and go out to soccer games this year and that sort of thing, continue that fandom after the World Cup, because we have FC Dallas here locally. We have Dallas Trinity that plays at the Cotton Bowl, a women's team. We have Atletico Dallas that's going to start playing at the Cotton Bowl in 2027. There are opportunities to continue to support the game here locally and to be kind of a part of that community. So if you enjoy what goes on this summer, I think there are opportunities. And Daniel, you got to experience that playing out at Toyota Stadium and being a part of the broader soccer community here. I think it's pretty incredible that there is this community.
And you know
that's
what?
built up around it.
You played it, and you saw it grow. I went to a couple FC Dallas games in Frisco. The facility is great. I'm very critical of bang for your buck sports as an entertainment product. That is a great value night out.
Yeah.
For if you're a sports fan,
100%.
it's fantastic.
Really is.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one. And the other, ask me about what I'm excited about. There's nothing better, and I include American college. There's nothing better than watching the international soccer fan, because they're insane.
They are insane. We're getting Scotland coming to the U.S. Scotland hasn't made a World Cup in a while. Do you know how wild that's about
that's
to
going to
be?
the amount of alcohol consumed will shatter records. So that part I'm really excited about.
Y'all made the comparison earlier to college football.
Yeah.
When they get to the stadium and they experience this, they're going to realize it's way beyond what college football is.
Yeah. So I'm really jazzed about that.
It's gonna be incredible. We're a couple final minutes here at Bronx Tack Room, guys. It's been a
Have you
pleasure.
tried? Let me
I
tell
haven't
you,
tried anything
I tried
yet.
a bite. I hate people watching me eat. I highly recommend it. You've already taken a drink.
I've already
so
taken
you're
my drink. I've done my thing.
Singular.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys have coming up, Arlington?
We just announced the Grand Prix coming back.
That's a big win. Oh, that did really well.
It's a huge win, and I talked to Roger Penske. He told me, he says, Mayor, let me tell you, this was the best inaugural Grand Prix in the history of IndyCar worldwide. Unbelievable. Viewership, the spectators that came out, everything,
That's
the
great.
racetrack and everything. So we got some cool things coming. It's good. And I think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs and go deep this year. Watch it. Watch it.
I will.
Straight from
I
the mayor's
have
mouth.
for the last 30 years.
I'm telling you.
All right, there he
watch it.
goes. The
You've
mayor of
seen the
Arlington
draft.
has the Cowboys
You've
in the
seen
Super
the
Bowl.
draft.
That clearly has kicked in.
Yeah, give me another margarita, all right?
Drinking the Caleb Downs.
You're right, the Caleb
Come
Downs
to Bronx before you come to the Cowboy game, too, all right?
That's right. We're loving our time out here at Bronx, here in the historic stockyards of Fort Worth. Mac, any final thoughts?
No, they're giving us the, you know what?
Yeah,
he
the
gave me the
international
finger.
Yeah,
but it's a different kind of finger.
The international sign for you guys get the heck off the stage.
Get off.
Guys, thanks so much
Thanks
for
so
joining
much.
us. It was an
Take care,
absolute
guys.
pleasure.
Thank you
Good
very
to
much.
see you
Thanks,
guys.
Daniel. Thank you.
stuff.
I can't go right now. I've been contracted to try the food units.
You tried the Nada Wada patty melt.
I did. And the Nada Wada patty melt didn't leave a lot to be desired, I must say.
It is quite desirable.
Yes.
I'll have beer.
Quite good. Well, just a little bit to go here out at Bronx Tack Room today. What a time it has been. We've certainly enjoyed it. Thanks to all of you for coming out. Thanks to all of you who have been by the channel out there in the land of the podcast as well. And hopefully we'll do more of these. I'm assigned to come on here and tell you, Vera Cunha, I've recruited Tyler.
That's right.
And, man, I'm sorry I get you guys.
Jake.
Yeah, Tyler and Jake. I still get you guys kind of jumbled up.
We look so alike.
Yeah, you do. You do. But, yes, that was a very hearty soccer conversation you had there.
It was, wasn't it? How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited about the World Cup this summer, Mike?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the game or anything like that.
I know
but But hello, John C. Good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. Glad we're all hanging in there still. But yes, I'm sure I'll get with the program as we go. Listening to you talk about it certainly has been informative.
Well, I'm glad.
You're quite good at this, man.
Well, thank you.
I must say.
I have a lot of fun talking about the game and bringing people into it who might not have experienced it a lot.
And that shows, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're way into it, and when you can get that across to the masses out there, that serves you well. In fact, that'll serve you better than just about anything else. How much you may or may not know or how funny you are, anything like that. If you're into what you're doing, it shows.
Well, I think there can be a tendency sometimes when you're into something really niche, right, to want to gatekeep that thing to a certain extent. And I've seen some soccer people do that like, oh, hey, the big event, the World Cup's coming to town. I only want soccer people to participate in that. And that's not how you grow anything. It's not how you grow a game. It's not how you grow interest in any particular topic, by keeping people out and walling people off. And so I think it's important to be able to share information like, hey, let's talk soccer. Let's talk about what makes it unique and what makes it fun and why I love it so much. And I think it's an important thing. I mean, the same way that you share a love of baseball with people and you're able to have an in-depth conversation about the nuances of the game. I think it's important to share the love of those things and pass that on to people.
And your love of soccer comes across in much that very similar way.
You know, I think, and you might say this as well, that it's important to explore the nuances of a given sport because I think that enhances the enjoyment of it, of maybe any topic. But, like, would you say that knowing more about maybe pitch selection in baseball helps you enjoy a baseball game more?
Certainly does me.
I think so.
I don't know if that holds true for everybody. Some people might say that's too much information. Well, that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you can't, take that information and do whatever it is you do with it, either absorb it, learn from it, discard it, whatever that may be, and still enjoy it, still enjoy the game.
I've really enjoyed, being able to share that information with people when it comes to soccer the same way that, I enjoy it when it comes to baseball. I don't know if you follow the guy Pitching Ninja on any of the social media, but he does a great job breaking down how pitchers are doing what they're doing in baseball these days. When he'll post a video, and it's a pitcher that can throw 4 different pitches, let's say, and he'll do the video, and all of it is perfectly in sync, and then all of a sudden you'll see all 4 pitches dive in different directions as you see the way that this pitcher is able to manipulate a baseball. And I send that to people who aren't baseball fans or who struggle to get into the game and say, can you imagine trying to be a hitter and seeing this come at you?
Yeah, and knowing that it's going to do something, but you don't know what.
Exactly.
And you got about a nanosecond to figure it out.
Gosh, I love sharing that stuff with people.
Well, you're good at it, man. You were really good. I'm very glad that we brought you on.
I listened to you for years, and so that's always helpful,
I don't know how much help I am, but I appreciate that nonetheless.
Did a good job for sure.
He has done a good job. You guys do too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Incredible job. Incredible job.
And it just so happens that among the realm of the podcast, from what I'm told anyway, and what I see, what you guys do is very, very popular out there. I mean, it's one of the things that really draws people to the whole realm of the podcast.
I think it's something that everybody or the masses have an interest in, right? I mean, you know, whether it be from the documentaries you see or just the stories that are out there and the abundance of the stories.
Right.
Is what all, and then you know, like I said, I mean, there's a tremendous number of them, and then you start getting into the nuances of all of them.
Yeah.
Right. The motives, the why, the investigations, you know, the people that were involved. You know, I mean, and so there's just so much for us to dive into. So yeah, I think one of the things that we have the most difficult time with is figuring out what do we want to talk about. You know, and on our end, the back end, the research part of it is the time-consuming part. It's the fun part. Don't get me wrong, but we find ourselves probably taking more out. Like, hey, what do we want to talk about in this 1 or 2 hour period?
Yeah, and if you're researching something you love, that's not work, man.
No, that's the thing. I mean, it's reading a book. It's reading a good book.
It is.
Wait, but so how much do you have storyboarded out ahead of time? So, because you're doing true crime.
Yeah.
How much do you have storyboarded out ahead of time, and how much are you letting the story kind of take you where it goes and finding like the different strands of things that are? I'm sure it's some blend of that, but
it is. We used to. I think we used to do it much more scripted than what we've kind of evolved to. We're to the point now, I think, to where we know the nuances, we know the ins and outs, and that's what we discuss.
Yeah.
So as far as the story, you know, we kind of do the who, what, when, where, you know, I guess model, if you will. But from storyboarding it, we've really evolved to where it's kind of a conversation.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. When you were on the force, did you think about this stuff in the way that you think about it now doing this?
No. Everything was kind of matter of fact. You just responded, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be something that was pressing up, you know, kind of the emergency style situation, you just responded with what you knew, with your experience, with your training. So it's a little bit different. But I enjoy it now. I think I enjoy it now more, being able to look back and kind of analyze and see. Really, what it's done is it's given me an opportunity to realize how fortunate I was, how grateful I am for what I did, and really like I said, it was a blast. I mean, it was over 2 decades of the most fun job one could have. So,
when you can say that, you're a pretty lucky fellow.
Yeah, I think so.
I have a question for you, Mike. Can I ask one?
Yes, Mac Engel is joining us.
I had to do my other job real quick.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Mike, because we have Mr. True Crime here. What's the greatest cold case, unsolved crime story that you can remember in your lifetime here in DFW? Anything? What do you? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, if we're just talking about DFW here, I would say it has to be JFK.
JFK?
Yeah. I mean, I know these days, I think people have reached the point of JFK fatigue to a certain extent. And they're kind of going, oh, all right, Lee Harvey did it, single bullet, all that stuff. Yeah, we're just cool.
Colin Davis?
Put a wrap on it. Colin Davis is another good one.
That may be something you guys hear about pretty soon.
Oh.
Actually.
Is he still alive?
Yes. Last I heard, he's selling Bibles.
Yeah, I think he had found the good
yes,
book.
I think
people
so.
tend to make that pivot.
That happens.
Yeah. It's a hard pivot people tend to make when they find themselves in certain circumstances.
Have you at all discussed, I'm sorry I wasn't on that, have you discussed the Murtaugh murder trial?
Fascinated by this.
Have you? I know it's not local.
Yeah, it's not local. I've seen it, read about it. Very interesting for sure.
I don't think I'm quite on this.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Mac, you give the details.
Well, this one I'm not going to know as much as you probably do. This was a family murder, wife and son.
Yep.
Father was accused of it. A lot of this was in South Carolina.
Yep.
A lot of
How
family.
long ago? Recent?
5, 10
5,
years.
6,
Yeah,
7,
5 to
8.
10
Yeah.
years.
This guy, I think it's worth pointing out, big influential family in like the South, in like kind of rural South Carolina, I would say.
Yeah.
And so this family was big
And had
stuff.
a lot of money.
Ton of money.
Well-to-do
He was
for
well
sure.
connected because he was a judge or a attorney.
Yeah, attorney.
Yeah.
And a woman out of South Carolina, local media out of South Carolina, started a podcast on it, and it blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, it just went on and on and on because the story never ended. And it just had layer after layer and thread after thread. And it didn't matter how many times you cut the onion, it just kind of kept reproducing one other thread after another. So when the father was convicted, it was like, okay, he did it. Now we have conclusion. And then the other day, was it this week?
Yeah.
They overturned the decision.
South Carolina Supreme Court came in and said, hey, new trial, like, we're
Right.
throwing out that conviction. Wild. I mean, I think Netflix and HBO made documentaries about this family and this particular murder situation along with the podcast. I mean,
God,
it is.
I got to find those.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that getting overturned. I haven't
It
heard
did.
about
It just
that.
happened.
Yeah, it happened within the last week.
Yeah,
I mean,
and so, when I saw that, I immediately thought of you guys. I was like, and I know you guys do DFW.
Yeah.
So that's obviously not local. It was like, I couldn't think of anything. The Cullen Davis was a big one because it involved family members, right?
I think that's got to be the biggest. I don't want to speak for the Dallas side of the house, but I think that's got to be the biggest one in the last 50 years.
Did that grab your attention? That was in the 70s? Was it in the
Yes.
70s?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
It did. It did. It caught the attention of everybody. It was on the news virtually every night back then.
Oh, yeah.
So my daughter, you'll appreciate this, my daughter's 17, for extra credit, she was given the option to watch OJ Made in America, the 5-part documentary that's like 9 hours long. And to me, it's the best documentary I've ever seen. And I was watching it with her, and I forgot details to that case. And she said, was this big of a deal? I was like, honey, this gripped America like I've never seen anything. And like there were details to that story that I had completely forgotten.
Yeah, and that's funny because today I came across something that mentioned that documentary.
Really? Did you watch it?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did. But I really hadn't thought too much about it since then, but I came across this thing today that mentioned it and just how big that was, and they call it the #1 documentary that anybody has ever made anywhere on anything.
It's awfully good.
And now I want to go watch it again.
I watched bits and pieces, and I forgot. Like, he got everybody to talk. Like Mark Furman, who I think died in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think this week.
Was it this week
Yeah.
Mark died?
Mm-hmm.
And he's sitting there talking, and it was, I think the only one that he didn't get was OJ, because OJ was locked up at that point.
Yeah.
And I every time I watch, it just totally sucks me in. And the more I've seen that, the more I think I need to go deep dive into the Cullen Davis thing, because I know about it a little bit, but I didn't do like I did, because the OJ thing that was more my era.
And there are some, I think from a similarity perspective, you look at this is no secret, right? But the concept of wealth, if you're involved, connected to a crime, you maybe get a pass, right? I mean,
maybe
it happens. I mean, it's very common.
Certainly, if nothing else, the involvement of wealth in anything like that drives it and makes it much, much bigger than it otherwise would have been.
Absolutely. Yep.
I had an opportunity. So one of the prosecutors in that was a guy named Joe Shannon. And you remember Joe?
Yeah.
And I don't know if Joe's a Fort Worth guy, and he was a DA, I think, for a long time. And I'm at a book signing, my own book.
Yeah.
So that means there's like 3 people there. And I'm overjoyed that there's anybody there. And it's him. And I ended up sitting down, basically interviewing him for an hour about the Cullen Davis trial. And that was one of the most fascinating conversations I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Was sitting there talking to the guy who prosecuted and ultimately lost the Colin Davis case.
Those are the best.
Wish I had recorded that.
Those are the best. Those that spring up out of nowhere.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left here. Anybody got anything else? Have we?
What do you want to know? Wait, here's one for you.
Okay.
Texas Rangers. Yeah, I know it's painful.
Yeah.
Where are you on the blame game for the president of baseball operations, Chris Young?
I've tried to be optimistic
How's
about
that
the
going?
Rangers. Not good. It's not going very good at all. My optimism is fading fast. This team is very, very poorly put together. It's going to land at the feet of somebody, and that somebody is probably not going to be the owner.
No.
It will make its way down the food chain, and it should stop there because he put the thing together, and if the thing is not working, then he's going to have a very, very short period of time to figure out why it's not working and what to do about it. Very extreme options.
What would you do?
Are being presented. I don't know, man.
Would you trade Jacob deGrom?
I would look at anything.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
I would look at anything.
Yeah.
I'd look at trading DeGrom. I would look at Evaldi, but if you trade DeGrom and Evaldi, you're trading away the strength of the team.
And not only that, the white flag is up.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much robbing Peter to pay Paul by doing that. And I don't think I'd be inclined to make a trade like that because it's kind of selfish on my part, but I love the fact that the Rangers have great pitching and right now, and on a given night, they're going to run somebody out there that I really want to see.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm interested in seeing what he's got. I know Mackenzie Gore's had a rough time here lately, but I've seen Mackenzie Gore when he was just about unhittable, too.
Then Corey Seager. Solution or a problem?
Problem.
You brought it. You brought him in to win a World Series.
He did it.
And you did it. You know.
He gave you the franchise-defining moment.
What's the Newberg? The flags fly forever sort of thing. Like,
yes,
you
flags
know,
fly forever.
It's true.
That's not a Newberg thing. That's an everybody thing.
It's a. I just remember reading it for the first time in his newsletter back in the day, and just being like, yeah, I like that.
I'm to the point that I get discouraged because I'm a baseball guy. Everything I see talks about a trade, whether it's Tariq Skubal. I saw one with Paul Skeens. Everybody going to the Dodgers, right? I mean, when you look at that lineup, what can you put on the field that competes with them?
Compete with them?
Yeah.
Well, the team. It's a different. There's a few teams that can compete with them. Can they beat them?
Good point. That I'll agree with.
Well, across a 7-game series, baseball is random enough that it is doable. It is never a foregone conclusion across a 7-game series because you boil 162 games down to a bad outing by a pitcher.
And do does your attitude about that change if somehow they needed a miracle to win that World Series last year, but they won it. I mean, we're talking inches. Inches, literally, on multiple plays.
What a great World Series that was.
It was great.
It's incredible. But does your attitude about it change had they not won? I think it does, too.
It does. Yeah. I agree. You're right there. But, you look at that lineup.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I can't even put it into words how strong, how solid that
is. There's no out.
No.
There's no break.
None. And even if you bring in a reliever, he's stressed right away.
Yeah.
And that's
he comes in there and he's like, holy shit, I got to get this guy out.
Totally.
I got to get Freddie Freeman out.
So, when you look at, if Corey Seager's an issue, and you got a lot of money left on that deal.
Mm-hmm. Which you do.
What do you do? Would you trade him?
Yeah, I would.
Are you trading him for players, or are you trading him to dump the contract?
As much of both as I can get. If I get to dump a large part of the contract and get a couple of somewhat marginal guys back, I would look at that. But I don't know if I would trade him to get players back.
And have to
mainly
eat the
because
contract.
I don't trust the guys that are making those calls right now.
The evidence isn't great. I mean,
no, it's not.
When I wrote about this 2 or 3 days ago, they were 8 games under 500 since winning the World Series, and that offense, like this is the one thing that drives me crazy, Mike, is I hear park factor, the park effect. I'm like, what is that bullshit? You won the World Series in the same park with the third-ranked offense across the board in every major category. Your offense was no worse than third.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, since you scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning at Arizona to win the World Series, none of you guys can hit. And you're in the bottom 5 in virtually every major category since that inning.
Isn't this why, like, it feels really hard sometimes, for me anyways, to totally lay the blame at Chris Young's feet? Because, like, I think all of us thought at that moment, like, Josh Young's going to be a star.
Yes.
Evan Carter's going to hit 380 or something. Not really, but, like, Evan Carter's going to get on base every single game. And now we've got Wyatt Langford. And, like, this is going to be a young lineup with Corey Seager, who hopefully can age gracefully. Like, all of it looked in place. And I think that's the thing to me. It's like after 2023, I was like, I don't think this team is going to get bad all of a sudden. And none of those guys have continued the trajectory that I think we saw in that offseason.
All of a sudden, they just can't quit. Can't hit.
Yeah. Nope. And Ray Davis said it. Ray Davis flat out said, we are built for multiple World Series. So they spent the money to do it. Well, they did. They don't now.
Yeah.
And Carter can't stay healthy. Wyatt Langford has been a young player. Young has been up and down. They let go of they dumped Simeon for Nemo, who's been good.
Mm-hmm.
First base has been nothing. The DH is a bottom of the order hitter at $20 million a year. The catcher has given you 0. And you've got one of the better pitching staffs in baseball. And now you can't hit anything.
One of the better pitching staffs in baseball, and every night somebody goes to the mound thinking, okay, I got to throw a shutout tonight.
That's right.
That's our only chance. Yep. All right, we've been given the high sign.
The high sign?
That means that we are, in fact, going to wrap this up. We would like to thank everybody out there who's been watching all this today. It's been great fun for us to do this, and hopefully we'll do more. Thanks to the folks at the place here for having us in. Wonderful place you guys got here.
Bronx is awesome.
This is a nice
Yes, Bronx is fantastic. I was totally unaware of this place. Never had even heard of it, but now I'm very aware of it. I cannot recommend it enough to all of you out there as well.
Incredible character.
Yes, great character. An awesome character place.
I love it.
Just like there are character guys in the room. This is character.
Not a lot of talent, but a lot of character.
A lot of character, a lot of heart.
Right.
We must thank those at the helm. Ashley, love you, girl. Yvonne, love you, my brother. You guys are the best. And thanks to the folks out here at Bronx for having us out once again. Thank you to all of you for coming out. This has been your dark companion. Until we meet again.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.